It's time to make your moment.
Hello and welcome to the O2 Arena in London, where tonight 8 top UK fighters go head-to-head to find out who is king of the middleweights. Yes, we are live from a full house here at the Indigo at the O2 for a night of non-stop action boxing, but not as you know it. We're going to bring you a brand new experience, a fresh new style for one of the oldest sports in the world. 8 pro boxers, 3 rounds, 3 fights, 3 minutes, £50,000 up for grabs. It's fast, it's furious. This is Ultimate Boxer. Great to have you with us tonight. If you're new to Ultimate Boxer, then it really is quite simple. It's literally a high-paced knockout tournament. 8 talented professional fighters start off in 4 quarter-final matchups. The winner progresses to the semi-finals, where the final lineup will be decided. We've got a couple of extra bouts to bring you as well. We're going to find out if Idris Virgo is more than a reality TV star. And we're going to see in action the Ultimate Boxer 2 champion, Shawn Phillips. But with me ringside here at the Indigo at the O2, 2 former world champions. Look at these two. Anthony Crollett is looking $1 million as always. And this man who needs no introduction, Shannon the Cannon Briggs. I'm going to give you your one opportunity to give us the biggest ever Let's Go Champ.
Let's go, champ!
Great to have you with us, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Anthony, Shannon as well, both of you have been here before in this sort of tournament-style fighting. You've been in this scenario. It's a great opportunity for these guys, Anne.
Of course it is. We've got 8 young, hungry professional fighters who want to further their career, and to go away, a nice bit of prize money as well. Winning this tonight does that. It opens up some huge opportunities for them.
Yeah, Shannon, these are guys perhaps who haven't been given an opportunity by a promoter, perhaps are too old,
yes,
they're not sexy enough, whatever you want to say.
I've been there.
You've been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
And you know how much this will mean for them, and especially
so
that
much.
sort of money is life-changing for these guys.
This is unreal, man. These guys have an opportunity tonight to make a name for themselves all around the world, because people all around the world tonight are watching this, because I'm excited, everyone's excited. I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. This is big, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, and if we are excited, I know one man in particular who's going to be excited. My mate, Steve Bunce. Buncey, what's happening?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what's happening, Will, if you like. I'm down here in the basement at the Indigo where the fighters are changing. There's 3 changing rooms and they've split it, and it's quite interesting the way they've split it. And throughout the night, I'll be talking to the preacher, I'll be talking to the plumber, I'll be talking to the guy that works in the shop, I'll be talking to a guy that's given up working so he can concentrate on being a professional. I'll be speaking to these different people and their cornermen and their loved ones as they go up and they come down. Some will have won, some will have lost. They'll come down here and they'll have my microphone thrust straight in their face. Let's have a quick look in this room. Dressing room 2. There are the names. Let's have a little look. They're a bit quiet in there. I'll have a look in the other change room, I think. See, there's a bit more action in the other change room. There's the first of the fighters going out. Billy the Bomb Long there, former unbeaten pro. That's what it's going to be like tonight. It's going to be fighters everywhere pushing me. I'll be pushing them. I'll be looking for answers. They'll be looking for wins. They'll be looking for victories. And at somewhere, probably close to midnight, we will have a winner. But before then, I'll give you as many stories from down here. They might be sob stories, but they'll all be true boxing stories.
Buncey, love it, love it.
He's the best. He's the best.
He's the best. He is. And during that, you were shadow boxing.
Oh, man.
Ant was stood there completely deadpan, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, tactically, talk to me here how different this is preparing for a 12-round fight, because some of these guys haven't gone 12 rounds, but it must be so different to prepare to potentially face 3 opponents in an evening.
Of course, listen, every fight is a final. You can't pace yourself too much, because 3 rounds can easily pass you by. But there again, you need to do enough work to make sure you get into that round. And all my advice would be to the fighters is just concentrate on winning 1 fight at a time. one fight at a time.
You can't look too far ahead, Shannon. You know who you're going to face in the quarterfinal, potentially who you might face in the semi, but you can't think like that, can you?
You just got to go out there and give it all. It's like similar to being an amateur again, where you've had to fight different guys on different days, back to back. So they got to kind of take it back to that, but they got to really leave it all in the ring. Each fight, they got to come out there, jump on the guy, win the fight. You only got 3 rounds. Let's go, champ.
Look at you with your Ultimate Boxer hat. Love it. Love it, Shannon. Right, one man, another former world champion who's been to the first 2 Ultimate Boxers is Paulie Malignaggi. He's in the ring with Layla. Layla.
We are really looking forward to a fast-paced night of explosive boxing action. Paulie, tell me, why is this format so addictive?
Short rounds, short pace fight. I'm saying, only 3 rounds. You've got to advance to the next round and still try to keep enough of yourself to win the whole tournament. So it leaves a lot of guessing even in the fans' minds. Are the favorites really as good as they are? Do they have enough time to set themselves up and win? We see many upsets in this kind of tournament. We'll probably see some upsets tonight. And even if you advance, as I said, do you have enough to keep advancing in the tournament?
Only 8 fighters begin this tournament, but of course only 1 will reign victorious. What kind of strategy would you use, considering that fighter who wins will have to take part in 3 fights in one night? You want to remain dominant yet pace yourself, right?
Yeah, you want to remain dominant yet preserve yourself. And one of the strategies I think is also one of the reasons why it becomes exciting. I think you have to be first. I don't think you have a chance to kind of set things up and kind of go about the ring and see how things play out. You kind of have to just get the fight going. And I think being first is key. Being first is key, and being sharp is key. So I think if you're first and you're sharp, automatically you're going to dictate the pace of the fight, and you're going to obviously force a faster pace than your opponent. Now, if you're first, you're also protecting yourself, because sometimes I think, especially in this kind of tournament, a good offense is a great defense as well. Because if you're on the offensive, you never let your guy get started. Before you know it, the fight's over, and he never got started, and you win the fight. So I also think that's another reason why it's exciting, because both guys are going to want to be first, and that's a strategy to imply. It makes it exciting, and it gives guys their best chance of succeeding.
Got to control the space from the second they said step in here. Cannot wait to get it started. Back to you, Will.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. We are ready. The crowd is ready. Ultimate Boxer gets underway here in London after this short break where somebody's O has to go. It's Ciaran Conway against Khan Hawes. It's next.
I'm here to stand out. I'm not here to just take part and be one of the numbers.
I think I'm an exciting fighter. I like to come forward, and I'm going to take this opportunity by fans.
I don't have losing in my mind.
I want it more than anyone else in this competition.
I'll do anything to just win, and that's what I'm going to do.
Brought to you by Benjamin Shalom for Ultimate Boxer in association with Mansion Bet and sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Tonight's area representative is Mick Collier. The chief inspector is Mr. Chris Bartram. Our referees and judges ringside are Mr. Kieran McCann, Mr. Mark Bates, Mr. Lee Cook, Mr. Lee Every. And our timekeepers at the bell are Mr. Bob Edgeworth and Mr. Nick White. So, the stage is set. Thousands of hours of training culminate in this very moment. Whether you're present in the arena or you're watching online on BT Sport, I need to know who's ready for action! Allow me to introduce, first of all, to the blue corner, Khan Hawes. And his opponent in the red corner, Kiran Conway.
Welcome back to the Indigo at the O2 in London, where all the action is about to get underway with the first quarter-final of Ultimate Boxer. Your commentary team, Paulie Malignaggi with Ronald McIntosh. But first, your MC, Mr. Lance Murdoch.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is scheduled over three-minute rounds in the middleweight division. It is our first quarter-final. Our referee is Mr. Lee Every. Our judge is Mr. Mark Bates, Mr. Lee Cook, and Mr. Kieran McCann. Introducing first, in the blue corner, weighing in at 11 stone, 5 pounds and 8 ounces, wearing the green shorts with a professional record of 5 wins, no defeat, and 1 draw. Representing Witham, Essex, Con Horse! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the pink shorts, weighing in at 11 stone, 7 pounds and 8 ounces. Representing Northampton with an undefeated record of 10 fights and 10 wins, Ciaran Two-Class Conway! Our referee, Mr. Lee Every, with the instructions.
Okay, lads, when I say stop, you stop boxing. When I say break, take a step back. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck to you both.
Let's get down to business.
So we're underway then. The first quarter-final in the middleweight division of Ultimate Boxer 3, and my goodness, both of these men have come out looking for one another straight away. The boxer wearing the pink shorts is Ciaran Conway, the bookmaker's favorite, the decorated amateur, represented England on a couple of occasions, and the man wearing the green who has come out swinging and on the front foot but is being picked off during his advances is Con Horse from Witham in Essex, nowhere near the amateur credentials of the decorated Ciaran Conway. This is the 7th professional fight tonight, and he brings to the ring an undefeated record, 5 wins and 1 draw, no defeat so far.
And I tell you, both of their plans must have been to get off to a fast start, because this fight has gotten off to a hellacious start.
Nice left jab from Conway. You see he operates out of the orthodox stance, but he's a naturally left-handed person, and so the left jab, like so many turned around southpaws, converted southpaws, Paulie, is a really heavy shot, and he's using it to good effect to open this middleweight bar.
Yeah, absolutely, and with some distance he can use the jab well, and also the left hook. You see a lot of converted southpaws have a very good left hook, and we should look out for that as well on the part of Conway. But right now, Hawes is doing a good job of smothering Conway and taking away his ability to work.
So approaching the midpoint of this first round, just a little bit of housekeeping as to the tournament format that we're dealing with here tonight. Remember, just 3 rounds is the maximum distance of each contest, but unlike British contests beneath the championship limit, we'll have all 3 judges scoring, not just the referee as the arbiter. So Lee Every, the referee tonight, but we have 3 judges scoring each contest. Conway again bringing a beautiful right uppercut into play, and then look at the defensive footwork to get out of the way of the punches, but now he's pinned on the ropes, and Hawes is helping himself to some body attack.
You know, it seems like Conway lands the cleaner, sharper shots. There's another short uppercut on the inside, but Hawes is looking to outwork him. I think Hawes knows, you know, he doesn't have the amateur pedigree as does Conway. He doesn't have the style, he won't get the stylistic point. So I think he realizes in a short fight, let me see if I can outwork Conway, and that's what he's trying to do.
So Conway again using the space pretty well, turning his man nicely before driving him back onto the ropes with a 2-shot salvo, and there's a nice right uppercut once again.
And Conway has found the home for that little short right uppercut. He's landed it several times in this round, and he'll probably be landing it again, because Hawes keeps coming in with that head-first style and just in an aggressive manner, which obviously may help him, but it can also hurt him if he keeps walking into punches. Good body shot by Conway.
Body shot and a nice bob underneath. The retaliation from Conway made the man pay, then made him miss. You can hear Con Horse grunting as he plants his feet in the canvas, but he's just taken a left jab and then a left-right combination, and Ciaran Conway really putting his punches together effectively in the concluding stages of that first round. A very good round for the bookmaker's favorite in the fluorescent pink shorts.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, after the early quick start by Hawes, you know, you just didn't get the feeling that Hawes could create the openings on the inside. He got close, but he just couldn't make space for his punches, you know, at least not to land them correctly. And you see Conway there with some nifty footwork, spinning around, using that check left hook, stepping around again. Watch the shot. Good right hand. There, Hawes gets in there and kind of goes to work, but Conway is able to take that a lot of that on the gloves. While on the other hand, when Conway's working, it's landing more clean.
It's not going to be too long before he starts pitching his elbow and hand in. How do you feel? Have another reach. Come on, come on.
Watch him, big punch.
Let's go.
So former undefeated professional Billy the Bomb Long giving the instruction in the corner of Khan Hawes. He's back out for the second round, and well, his aggressive front foot style is apparent, Paulie, and that was one of the reasons he took up the sport in the first place. He's a terrific all-round athlete, is Khan Hawes. Oh, look at that left jab, and then the right hand following from Conway, and he really is picking off his man with some potent punches in this second round. Hawes coming back with a two-shot salvo of his own, but a terrific start to the round by Conway behind that heavy left jab.
Yeah, and he just has, you can just tell he has the pedigree. You know, he understands the sense of distance in here, and he understands how to set up his punches properly. Hawes is trying. He's got a lot of heart, and he's trying, but he's just smothering a lot of his work, and he hasn't figured out a way to open up Conway and create the proper opening to land clean shots.
Before that terrific burst of punches from Conway, he was getting to work with a lead right hand while he was square on the ropes. Was mentioning that Khan Hawes' aggression was one of the factors why he took up boxing in the first place. The all-round athlete represented Witham Town as a wicket-keeper batsman in cricket. Also was a combative midfielder on the football pitch, and he kept getting into fights. So one time while he was out of football with knee injuries, he just takes another 1-2 combination, found his way to the boxing gym, and effectively never left. And here he is now fighting on a stage such as this.
Oh, another uppercut by Conway. That uppercut we keep talking about, and Conway keeps finding a home for it. But yeah, with Hawes, you know, you can see he has a fighting mentality. He comes forward, all he wants to do is fight. It's just, he needs to apply a little bit more intelligence to his fighting style. He's got the aggressive mannerism, and he's got the right attitude as far as being in the ring, his in-the-ring aggression, but he just has to polish it up a little bit, and right now he's not able to deal with the more polished Ciaran Conway.
Ciaran Conway, in stark contrast, started boxing at 12 as he's looking for that right uppercut once again. He's been trained throughout by his father, James. He was a former amateur himself. Ciaran, the eldest of 6 children, he goes downstairs with a good left hand to the body. And his dad, well, his first instinct was that Ciaran didn't have what it takes, didn't think he would be good enough. So he would come home with tears in his eyes and a little bit upset when he started sparring at the age of 12. He gets through the right uppercut once again, but he stuck at it. And now he's in the midst of a professional career. Beautiful weave and counter left hand from Conway after making Hawes miss.
And a nice little pivot a few seconds ago as well. He's got the pedigree, you can see it, and he's got the nifty footwork to carry the day. But this is a fast-paced fight, and you start to wonder what Conway will have left for the next round if he's able to continue this kind of assault and advance after this fight.
There's a beautiful sidestep, and look at those left hands being ripped into the solar plexus of Hawes. He keeps on coming forwards. But Conway demonstrating his comfort in the pocket at long range and at mid-range as well. Walks his man onto another beautiful left jab, and look at how he's using the space of the ring and just walking his man onto punches.
Good creative shots, good ways of setting up combinations there by Conway. Little half steps, pivots, side steps, and creates the openings.
All right, deep breaths. Okay, he's going to...
So here's a replay of some action from the last round. First of all, a simple jab. Look how sharp it can be. You know, Hawes comes forward, but he's not much head movement behind his aggression. So look, you can get right through the gloves with that stinging jab of Conway. A lot of times you guys want to be aggressive, but you also need to apply some head movement with that aggression. Otherwise, you're going to walk right into punches. And a guy like Conway is too smart to just let you walk in the front door like that.
We can do it, Paul. We can do it. Non-stop. Non-stop 3 minutes, yeah? Come on. Give me everything you got.
There's an Indigo Theatre here at the O2 Arena that is filled to capacity for Ultimate Boxer 3. Can't Horse, look at the volume and the variety and the accuracy once again to get this third round underway. A furious fusillade of punches. And Can't Horse, well, he was forced to hold on just to try and gain some respite. Steps right back into the pocket once again. But Ciaran Conway demonstrating wonderful creativity and creation of angles.
And look at just like that. You see how he did that faint half step back. Hawes covered the ground and Conway walked him into some shots. Just watch the nifty footwork of Conway. Watch how he sets things up.
Pivoting in the pocket once again and then letting those shots go underneath. And even though it's Hawes who's coming forwards, he's been picked off on his advance. Now he's trying to pin Conway against the strands and find a home for his punches. But Conway remaining composed under this fire, and he's getting the better of these exchanges.
Absolutely, and I give Hawes a lot of credit. I'll tell you, he's taking some thunderous shots here, and he just keeps coming forward undeterred. A lot of heart and a lot of character on the part of Can't Horse. Oh, good right hand there on the inside.
Can't Horse continuing to apply his front foot pressure. Conway, oh, terrific work to the body once again. Right uppercut once again is an effective shot from Conway.
And that's the problem too with Hawes. A lot of heart, but no adjustments at all. He's getting hit with the same punches over and over again. That right uppercut's been landing consistently since round one.
Can't Horse, after stepping into the boxing ring, after picking up that knee injury in football, had 6 or 7 on the unlicensed white-collar circuit. Before then, having a brief amateur career out of the Hoddesdon Boxing Academy. Sablio doing terrific things up there in Hertfordshire. Perhaps their most famous alum is Billy Joe Saunders. Seemed to make his permanent bow at 168. And again, Conway just oozing class throughout the course of this opening quarter-final. Not just on the back foot, but prepared to step in on occasion as well and just nullify the front foot advance of Hawes.
Again, no head movement from Can't Horse. I love his determination. He keeps coming forward. He's totally undeterred. Body shots, head shots. I mean, he's coming forward the whole time. But again, I can't stress enough how the lack of creativity is actually hurting tonight.
All of his fights so far, 6 completed contests have been at the Brentwood Leisure Centre, local to the man from Essex. But here on this stage at the Indigo Theatre, he's running into an inspired and indeed talented Ciaran Conway, the bookmaker's favourite, stamping his authority all over this contest right from the opening bell. Can't Horse's bloodied nose, testament to the accurate punches that Conway was able to land. We're going to the judges' scorecards. Mark Bates, Kieran McCann and Lee Cook, the 3 scoring observers.
And there's that right uppercut again. It was landing the entire fight. And Conway kept finding a home for it. Great body shots, great body work as well by Conway. That's something that could suit him over the course of this tournament. People think, oh, in a short fight, a body work won't work. And as long as you're slowing your opponent down just enough, it definitely will work. And some good combination punching by Conway, and some great footwork as well to set up the angles, to throw those proper punches as well.
It was a very high-paced and intense contest. Both boxers putting an awful lot into it. You sense it was Can't Horse who was relying more on his intensity and aggression rather than the ring craft that Ciaran Conway has at his disposal. But if this goes the way that we've seen it, it's Conway who'll be progressing through to the semi-finals, and he will have to go again at least once more. He's hoping twice more tonight. Can't Horse deserves immense credit, but I think the body language in the respective corners telling a story as to how the boxers and their teams think this one has gone.
Sweat and tears, ladies and gents. Let's hear a big round of applause for both of these warriors. What a way to kick off our first quarter-final. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of professional boxing, we consult the judges' scorecards. Judge Bates scored it 27-30. Judge McCann also scored it 27-30. And Judge Cook also scored it 27-30. It is a unanimous decision. To the red corner, Kiran Conway!
So Ciaran Conway winning all 3 rounds for all 3 of the judges. A unanimous points decision victor over Khan Hawes. He suffers his first loss in the professional ranks tonight. But it's Ciaran Conway, the bookmaker's favourite from Northampton, who goes through to the final 4 of Ultimate Boxer 3.
Yeah, Anthony Crolla and Shannon Briggs with me ringside. Ant, was sort of thinking there it was going to be a second-round stoppage for Conway. Clearly the right result, but he showed some bottle, didn't he, Khan Hawes?
Khan Hawes, so brave. What a chin on him. And listen, from the off, Ciaran Conway was in control. It was a lovely performance. And it just come down to, I think, sort of pedigree and skills, the younger, fresher man. But a massive shout out to Khan Hawes, such a tough man.
So much bottle, wasn't it? I mean,
unbelievable. I couldn't believe
the right winner, but
I mean, it's clearly the right winner. But as soon as the bell rang, right to it, just like I thought. They jumped out there. Conway's an unbelievable talent. But I got to tell you, Hans is a tough guy. I'd like to see him in a longer distance fight, a 10-round fight. Who knows what happens?
10-year age difference between them. That, potentially showed as well, 22, 23. But he, he was saying earlier on, Ciaran Conway, that he used to watch Ricky Hatton, one of your heroes, in the ring. He's only 22. He must have been in nappies watching him at the Manchester Arena back in the day.
Yeah, he's been brought up around boxing, Ciaran Conway, and you can see that just through his pedigree in there, his ring craft. And that was the difference tonight. Like I said, Khan Hawes, he had some on the unlicensed circuit, a very brief amateur career. And that was the difference, wasn't it, Shannon? The pedigree tonight.
Definitely, it showed in the experience and the techniques. This guy, you see the side steps. I mean, just did some unbelievable, magical things that a guy, a young guy doing stuff like that is great to see.
Yeah, so Ciaran Conway is into the semi-final. He's in the ring with Layla.
Ciaran, absolutely wonderful to speak to you. Congratulations on your first win of the night. Now, in the first round, it appeared that your opponent was trying to smother you, yet you weren't at all out of your comfort zone, were you?
No, I knew he was going to come and smother me. Or try to at least, but I know that class always comes on top, and I think that's shown there.
I'm glad you say class. It's a word we heard a lot from the commentary, from the commentary team tonight with regards to you. Very composed as well. Was that part of the game plan to wait it out a little?
Yeah, because I think everyone knows that I'm probably one of the better boxers in this tournament. So they're all going to come and try and smother me. They're all going to try and get that game plan. So I had to be ready for that. And hopefully I'll deal with it a lot better in the next few.
You did go for the full 3 rounds, though. Must have taken it out of you a little bit. You've got another fight to go. What's the plan now?
I'm very fit. I know what I've got to do. I'll go back there, and I'll come back just as fresh as I came out of the first one.
We'll see you again for the next fight. Congratulations. Ciaran Conway.
Yeah, great win there for Ciaran Conway. He now advances to the semi-final, where he will take on the winner of our second quarter-final between the former Southern Area champion, Tangling Jones, and Nottingham's Derrick Isazo.
You can expect someone who's going to be seriously determined to, win every minute, win every round, win every fight, and go all the way.
You want to go into each fight knocking them out in the first 10 seconds. They'll only win if they get pushed to their absolute limit. They'll have to go through a hard battle to get a win over me.
I'm not very interested in my competition. My job is to make sure I'm doing all that necessary in the gym to be ready for my fights.
I've been in this situation before, fighting 3 times in one night, so I know what it takes, and I know there's nothing going to be stopping me from winning and becoming an ultimate boxer.
We're live on BT Sport, live from the Indigo at the O2 for Ultimate Boxer. Kiran Conway already through to the semi-final, but who will he face? Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your scoring judges for this bout are Mr. Lee Every, Mr. Mark Bates, and Mr. Kieran McCann, and your referee is Mr. Lee Cook. Scheduled for three-minute rounds in our second quarter-final in the middleweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing the grey shorts, weighing in 11 stones, 6 pounds and 8 ounces, with an undefeated pro record of 6 fights and 6 wins, representing Nottingham, Derrick the Punching Preacher Isazo! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the blue shorts, weighing in at 11 stones and 7 pounds, with a professional record of 11 wins and 1 loss, including 2 KOs, representing Grays, Essex, Tangling Jones! Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Lee Cook.
Okay, you both know the rules. Defend yourself at all times. Keep your punches clean and on target when it's to break. Do so straight away and take a step back. Shake hands. Good luck to you both.
Let's get down to business.
So the second quarter-final in Ultimate Boxer 3 underway. Both of these men fighting to progress through to the semi-finals where Ciaran Conway awaits. And the man wearing the grey shorts who has come out aggressively behind that right hand is Derrick Isazo from Peckham, now fighting out of Nottingham, the Punching Preacher, a youth pastor up at his local church in Nottingham. And the taller man, wearing the blue trunks trimmed with gold, is Tangling Jones, the former Southern Area middleweight champion who gave up that title rather than defend against Linus Udofia to compete in Ultimate Boxer 3. And the taller man being put under pressure and on the back foot right from the outset.
Yeah, I'll say he's putting some good pressure behind some good head movement, something that Hawes didn't do in the first fight. You know, we were talking about the aggression has to come behind head movement, and Osaze's doing that very, very well. He's coming forward behind a good jab, and slipping shots as he comes inside, as you saw right there, so getting underneath the overhand right of Tangling Jones, and then coming back with some good counter shots.
Tangling Jones, despite being taller, trying to get to work at mid and short range. It's been a very good start from Isazo. Good left jab once again from the slightly more compact boxer. The right hand lead out of the orthodox stance was short, but the corkscrew left which followed was right on the money for Isazo. Tangling Jones looking to get his own offense going now. Cuffing right hand landed on the inside from Isazo. Midway through the opening round, you hear Isazo, well, he's a garrulous individual, given the time that he spends in the pulpit. And we were just reminding referee Lee Cook that he took a shot to the back of the head.
Anytime you're calm enough to converse and fight at the same time.
Oh, it's a furious start to this round.
I'll tell you
just as it was in the first quarter-final, neither man looking to feel their way into this one.
And I think most of the fighters will understand that the first round is important to get off to a good start in a fight that's just 3 rounds. And I think Lynn Jones is cut. I see some blood over the eye of Tangling Jones. It could become a complication if he even advances.
Yeah, the right eye, and there's a grazing left hook, which isn't going to help that cut in any way whatsoever. Tangling Jones turning his man nicely, now trying to get to work with shots to the body, but Isazo remaining composed and coming out of that corner behind a snaking right uppercut. Showboating now, mugging in front of his man. Tangling Jones looking for that right uppercut himself.
So he's crafty inside. He's right in front of you, but he's not that easy to hit. It's not easy to make contact with him. And then he does something very crafty as well. When Lynn Jones gets underneath anything, Isazo just holds his head down and prevents him from working. There's a good uppercut by Isazo. A good right hand by Tangling Jones.
Nudging right hand, catching Tangling Jones. You can see the man nicknamed Tasty Just blinking a little bit, that blood running into the eye, and now the corner are going to have to get to work to try and staunch the bleeding after sustaining that cut in the opening round.
Unsettled that, and then he came back into it second half of the round, right? Yeah. So, the reason you let it come into it is because you didn't get yourself settled, you come back. You're trying to land lead right hands. Jab, jab, that stiff jab, then let the right hand go, okay? Yeah. And that right hand to the body slowed him right down.
You see with the replays here from the last round, you see Osaze getting underneath the overhand right of Lynn Jones and then coming back with a furious little combination of his own. Nothing really lands clean there, but he's the busier of the two, and he's rough in there, so he's preventing Lynn Jones from ever keeping his balance and putting together anything himself.
I don't think you won that first round, right? Yeah. So, you can't afford to give away the next two, right? You just started getting the hang of it. You just started getting the hang of him by getting on, get that jab going. You must work on that jab.
Your time, yeah? Yeah. Don't get locked in. You've got that board, yeah?
I heard the corner of Lynn Jones saying, forget about the right hand right now, focus on landing your jab. And as a taller man, he probably should focus on the jab, and it may set up the right hand. And you see Lynn Jones comes out, trying to listen to the corner. Oh, takes a right hand over the top of that jab.
Devastating right hand from the punching preacher, Derrick Isazo, sending Lynn Jones to the canvas with a pile-driving overhand right. Plenty of time left in the round. The shot landed in the opening 30 seconds. And Lynn Jones receiving instruction from his father, Jason Jones, that he's got to have a better second round after experiencing difficulties in the opening round, which he probably conceded. And it started in calamitous fashion for the man nicknamed Tasty, because he was put on the end of a firecracker of a right hand that sent him to the canvas.
And you know what's a shame is Lynn Jones was listening to his corner very nicely to start the round, coming out jabbing more than throwing the right hand, and it seemed to be effective early on. The first few seconds he threw a couple of good jabs, but of course Osaze got the timing of that jab and landed a big right hand over the top of it.
Punching preacher.
And that's the thing, people may say, oh, was the jab the correct instructions for Lynn Jones because he got hit over the top of it? Yes, they are the correct instructions, but you have to take it upon yourself to also understand as a fighter, you have to vary the jab, you have to vary the speeds on the jab, you have to double it, sometimes feint before it. That way, it is not timed the right hand over the top like Osaze timed the jab of Lynn Jones.
Referee Lee Cook just reminding both boxers that they're to obey his instructions on the resumption. Lynn Jones scoring with a nice left-right combination, and he is beginning to get that left hand working, but then look at that for a potent left hand from Osaze. So Lynn Jones has done well to compose himself and get himself back into the contest on solid legs, because he was dropped rather heavily by that overhand right. But bar something dramatic happening in the final minute, which is, of course, when we did Ultimate Boxer 2, Paulie, we saw both boxers go on the canvas in the same round. So it's a distinct possibility, but a looping right hand lands around the corner from Osaze, who was showing variety with his right hand, just as you said fighters need to show variety with the jab.
And Lynn Jones, looking back at his corner, almost in a confused state. He has the heart, he's looking for answers, but just can't figure them out. And Osaze's not an easy guy to deal with. He's kind of unorthodox in a lot of ways, you know. He's a bit awkward and he's a bit rough. And he takes you out of your game. He's not just his sense of timing that's good, it's also his roughhouse tactics that will kind of play a part in undoing you.
So exchange of jabs between the two boxers in the closing stages of this second round. Lynn Jones with his man pinned to the ropes, who's looking to work away. But very difficult position that Tasty Lynn Jones finds himself in now, cutting the first round on the floor in the second. Let's listen in.
He's fucked, I'm telling you now. All he's going to do is throw big shots. Get out of the way of the big shots, make him pay. Tay, do not waste things, mate. All you got to do.
There's a knockdown, Robert. You see Lynn Jones trying to come with a jab, and Osaze slips the first one. You see a second jab thrown by Lynn Jones, and then that's where the right hand gets timed over the top. See right here, you'll see it again from this angle, this second one, and then boom, on the second one he gets timed. And he just kind of left the second one out there too, and that's the problem. He left the second one out there, and Osaze was able to come over the top of it very easily.
So into the third and final round then, and the tactics, given the state of this contest, at least as we see it from our ringside commentary position, Tasty Tangling Jones, the boxer in blue, has really got to put his man on the floor. And from his perspective, he prefer to keep him there for the count of 10. He was cut in the opening round, and then the heads have come together once again. Tangling Jones showing signs of distress. Osaze encouraged by that and continues to apply the pressure.
And that's what I was talking about, the roughhouse tactics of Osaze. You know, he's a crafty fighter, but he's also crafty in the ways of bending the rules a little bit. But of course, whatever you get away with, this is a fight. And oh, good shot there by Lynn Jones. Whatever you get away with it, and it can be frustrating, and it has been frustrating by Lynn Jones. We don't even know if that cut was opened up by a punch or a headbutt, you know, because Osaze does come in with his head a lot.
So Lynn Jones trying to establish his boxing, but again, into short and mid-range, marauds Osaze. And he's having success in the pocket.
Now the braids of Lynn Jones coming undone as well.
And that's something you know all about, Paulie, not to remind you, but up at the Manchester City Stadium, man, in your rematch.
Yes, shades of 11 years ago for me. This month, actually, 11 years ago.
He's commentating that night when Buddy McGirt had to take the scissors to your elaborate braids and hack them off.
I had to get an impromptu haircut.
But back to more serious matters at the midpoint of this third and final round. Even if Tangling Jones were to find the punch of a lifetime, which he surely requires now, and he's 2 knockouts in his 11 wins, is he going to be able to continue given the severity of that cut?
I don't know. And the other thing, we saw him turn southpaw for a few seconds. Now he's back to right-handed. I think he's looking for an answer. He's trying anything he can, but it's not easy. I'll tell you, Osaze will be a difficult guy to deal with. He's very crafty. He's very good, and he's also just dirty enough to throw you off as well. But it's not just. I don't want to make like it's just about him being dirty, because he's also very crafty as a boxer as well. Really a difficult style to figure out in just three rounds.
Tangling Jones had a decent amateur career composed of 29 wins in 37 fights, and again Osaze not averse to using the heel of the glove, the laces of the glove. He's a rough customer inside the rope square.
Yeah, a lace of the glove, a little bit of headbutting, pushing down on your head. Although Lynn Jones does the back to him there.
In an amateur career, few county titles as he takes another big right hand from Osaze, does Tangling Jones. Now works full-time in the building trade. Called himself a jack of all trades in that regard, but he said he'd prepared well for this. But suffering that cut in the opening round, being put on the floor in the second round, one suspects that it's going to be the punching preacher, Derrick Isazo, who will go through to the semi-finals. But of course, we will require the official verdict from the 3 scoring judges, Lee Every, Mark Bates and Kieran McCann. The men whose scores will determine the victor in this one. But again, the body language instructive, Paulie on the final bell. Osaze climbing the turnbuckle over in the blue corner, acknowledging the support he's receiving from his fans, because surely he's progressing through.
Yeah, he's very confident. You'll see some action from the last round, a little left hook there by Jones, a little bit off balance by Osaze, but Jones was trying. Jones went for it. He knew he was behind, and he knew he had to go for it and try everything he could. Little arm lock there by Osaze, a little muff to the face as well, glove. Every little trick.
Well, Tangling Jones gave it absolutely everything. He was fighting an uphill battle, particularly from the second round. And again, going on the floor as a boxer, Paulie, never a good thing, but in a condensed format such as this, it's very difficult to recover from unless you dominate the guy in the remainder of the contest or put him on the floor yourself.
Yeah, it really puts you behind the 8 ball, so to speak, you know, and Lynn Jones had that, he had the cut. Difficult fight.
So just waiting for the scores of the 3 judges to be tabulated. We'll hand up to our Master of Ceremonies just as soon as that information is correct. And even though it's tournament-style boxing, all of the usual protocols regarding safety and scoring and British Boxing Board of Control officials all in effect tonight, so everything being done correctly and as it should be. We're about in a go mode because referee Lee Cook has called the 2 men to his side, and we'll now get the announcement of the victor, who's going through to face Ciaran Conway.
Ladies and gentlemen, another epic clash in our second quarter-final. Let's do a big round of applause for both of these warriors. However, we consult the judges' scorecards. Lee Every scored it 27-29. Mark Bates also scored it 27-29. And Kieran McCann also scored it 27-29. It is a unanimous decision to the punching preacher, Derrick Isazo!
So Derrick Isazo, the punching preacher, moves to 7-0 and through to the final four. He progresses at the expense of the former Southern Area middleweight champion, Tangling Jones, dropping a unanimous points decision. He's eliminated from the tournament. He gave it his absolute all, but cut in the first round, dropped in the second. He's eliminated, and it's Isazo who goes on.
Right, let's get the thoughts of Shannon Briggs and Anthony Crolla on that one. Cannon, what a start to Ultimate Boxer here in London. Two great fights.
Woo, that's all I can say. That was great, man. I mean, again, right from the bell, right to it. I mean, this is a great format for pure action.
Yeah.
If you want action, you're going to love this.
And Kiran Conway, Ant, is going to be sitting in the dressing room rubbing his hands together, isn't he, saying this is exactly what he wanted.
It was very cute, very, very cute. And Derrick Isazo, and there's lovely shots for the knockdown. And in these tournaments, you get knockdowns. It's very hard for the opponent to win those fights.
Shannon, just very quickly, I mean, that cut seemed to be a big part of that fight, didn't it, early on in the first round for Tangling Jones. But let's have a look at the knockdown for Derrick Isazo in that second round.
Definitely.
Talk us through this one, Shannon.
Look at that. Great body shot. He blocked it, but he slips the jab and stuck it right in there. Boop. There it is. Let's go, champ. But this guy, Jones, is so tough, man. You think something like that would have flattened for the night. He got up and went right to work.
Here we go again. Another look at it.
There it is.
Good night.
Right on the chin. I mean, he got up like a true champ, though. I mean, he got up and went right, and that was early in the round.
Yeah.
So you got to be impressed. This is a great format for real fighters, real men. 50,000 on the line. They want to get it, and I understand why.
And we saw that cut, Ant, very close. It was like a third eyebrow. It's going to be a hell of a pot of Vaseline, isn't it?
And if, listen, the right man won, but if Tangling Jones was to go through that, I doubt very much he would have been able to continue on to the semi-final with that cut.
So
great point.
Yeah, Derrick Isazo into the semi-final. He's with Layla.
Derrick, we saw the punching preacher's expression focusing on his opponent. A dominant first round for you.
Yeah, it was all right. I don't think I fully got into my rhythm yet. Do you know what I mean? I just need to relax and take my time. Hopefully you should see a better version of me in the next fight.
Well, in the second round, you floored your opponent early. How much confidence did you get from that?
Do you know what? I've always known the power's there. Obviously, my record won't suggest that. But the problem is, I've been fighting some people that come to the ring to be very negative and just try to cover up and survive. So it's a lot harder to get the stoppage victories when you're fighting someone that just come to defend themselves. So I knew in a tournament like this, you know, once I take my time, give myself some space, they're going to hit the ground.
And finally, did I see you feeding off the crowd a little bit there? You've got some great support here tonight.
Yeah, man, I got amazing support. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, there's about 100 people in there, you know. The O2 Arena is only about 25 minutes away from my mum's house, my parents' house, so it's great, man. I feel right at home. Yeah, this is my house.
Well, we look forward to seeing you fight again, and you're into the semi-final. Ladies and gentlemen, Derrick Isazo.
Sweet, thank you very much. God bless you guys, man. Appreciate the support. See you in a bit.
Yeah, good night so far for the punching preacher into the semi-final here in London. Let's go backstage to the main man, Buncey. Who have you got with you, Sunshine?
Well, I'm in dressing room 2, Will, with Joe Hearn, who's going to be in the last of the 4 quarterfinals. He'll be fighting Grant Dennis. Joe, you've been watching the fights down here on the screen you've got in the changing room. Are you seeing any methods, any techniques, any tips to get you through the first of what hopefully will be 3 3-round fights?
Yeah, what I've seen, what's effective is just keep your hands up, you know, make the range, get inside and work hard. And it's been effective with the boys that have been doing that so far.
Your thing is you're a banger. I mean, as an unlicensed fighter, you knocked out just about everybody. On the K1 circuit, you knocked out just about anybody. As a pro, you've got the best stoppage rate of all of the fighters here. Is that something you're factoring, or are you thinking boxing, not banging tonight?
I'm always thinking knockout. Always. Always.
That's the way you are. You Toxeter boy. It's all about having a fight.
It's all about having a tear up and knocking people's spark out.
Graham Everett here, veteran. He's been in a corner with great fighters over the years, world champions. Jonathan Faxon here fought Ricky Hatton. That was a bloodbath. They lost about 7 litres of blood between them. They're surrounded. Does it help having 2 seasoned guys like this around you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got a great team around me. Russell Smith, my coach, Jono, Graham, G-Man, yeah, we've got a great team.
Joe Earn, I'm just here to knock him out. Sums it up, really.
Love it, Bunsey, love it. Semi-final 1 decided then. Quarter-final 3 up next. And this one, as you can see, features Shawn Phillips against Uttoxeter's heavy-handed Josh Groombridge, a fighter who turned professional at the age of 23 after starting off his boxing life on the white-collar scene. That's next.
I've got a puncher's chance of anybody, but I honestly believe I can knock someone out with either hand. I don't think there's many lads of that capability in this tournament. I think they're really good lads, but I think that's where I've got a bit of a push on, because I can knock someone out with either hand. You can't tell me that doesn't give you a chance over 3 rounds. I think that's, at any split second I could win that fight. Do you see my point? I think that's my biggest plus as such.
It is bouncing in here for Ultimate Boxer. Quarter-final 3 up next here at the Indigo at the O2. It's Shawn Phillips against Josh Groombridge.
Ladies and gentlemen, your judges at this match scoring ringside are Mr. Lee Cook, Mr. Lee Every and Mr. Mark Bates. Your referee is Mr. Ciaran McCann and your timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Nick White. Scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing the black shorts, weighing in at 11 stones and 8 pounds. With a record of 7 wins and 1 defeat, including 4 knockouts. Representing Oxeter Staffs, the Fighting Pride, Josh Groombridge! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the red shorts, with a professional record of 5 wins and 1 draw, including 1 knockout, weighing in at 11 stones, 6 pounds and 8 ounces, representing Gravesend, Kent, Shawn Phillips! Our referee in charge of the action, Mr. Ciaran McCann.
Right, gents, listen to me. You both know the rules, obey my commands at all times. When I say break, break cleanly, step back for no punches. Mind your heads. Most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Let's get down to business.
So the third quarter final then in Ultimate Boxer 3, and both of these men sprinting out of the blocks and meeting one another head on at center ring. The man wearing the black trunks, the tattooed figure, is Josh Groombridge. By his own admission when I was speaking to him in the build-up to this contest, oh, that's a beautiful counter left hook off the ropes by the man wearing the red shorts, Shawn Phillips, but the man in black described himself well, said he's got limited ability, but fierce determination and most certainly packs a punch. That's the country boy, Josh Groombridge from Utah, grew up next to a farm, and is what is known in the business, Paulie, as country strong, because he was a weight training devotee before switching to the noble art. He's carried that power into the sport of boxing, but he's being picked off by the taller boxer in the opening stages of this contest.
Yeah, and Phillips using his jab well, but he's also giving a chance to Groombridge to be able to work, because he kind of steps in too much at times with the jabs. So Groombridge has to just get his hands off when Phillips is inside. Right now, Phillips is and there he is right there. He gets on the inside, but Groombridge just gets in. It's underneath the punches, but then doesn't give himself any space to punch back. And right now, it's been Phillips who's been able to kind of pull the trigger the right way.
Nudging little left hand scored for Phillips just a few moments ago. Comes out of the Peacock gym. John Grayson and Kent trying to bring that right uppercut through was Groombridge, and then a right hand over the top wasn't too far away. You can see he's really loading up on that backhand, and while he's loading up and missing, he's been picked off by the advancing Phillips.
And then all this starts because Phillips is able to stay in good position even when he's on defense, and is able to transition that defense right to offense. There he's right there again. He flips that uppercut with a short back half step, and then comes right back with his own combination, his own punches.
Groombridge competing in his 9th professional contest tonight. He brings to the ring a record of 7 wins, 1 defeat. Oh, what a right hand from Phillips, catching Groombridge on the ropes, and he's in desperate trouble. He's covering up, trying to allow his senses to recover, but he's been punched from one set of strands to the other. Shawn Phillips now sensing that his man is in trouble and looking for the finish. Referee taking a close look, beautiful right uppercut, and Shawn Phillips with a serious statement of intent, taking Josh Groombridge out of the quarterfinals in the first round. A right hand put Groombridge in trouble, and then Phillips was relentless. Clever, patient punch picking, finding the openings in Groombridge, who was weary, and his defenses started to leak, and Shawn Phillips was clinical in concluding this contest in the first round. Shawn Phillips through to the semi-final stage with a first round knockout.
And priceless really to get this kind of win in the first round. There's a good right hand. He's gonna come back with a good body shot here as well. I believe I saw a nice body shot. There it is right there. That was a good body shot. And you see he bends down. So the right hand hurt him, but I also think the body shot hurt him there as well, because Groombridge felt that body shot and kind of dipped inside, like in reacting in a way where you would feel the body shot. There it is again. Look at that body shot. That, I'm telling you, that's the one he felt, maybe even more so than the right hand. And of course, trying to get your breath back after a body shot like that, you're kind of defenseless, and it allowed Phillips to kind of tee off a bit more and find the shots that he wanted. And a critical finishing there by Phillips, mixing up uppercuts, hooks, body shots, head shots. And again, priceless to win like this in your first fight, because it advances you without taking any damage and also without fatiguing as well.
No need to check the judges' scorecard on that one, ladies and gents. Our referee, Mr. Ciaran McCann, stopped the action after 2 minutes and 22 seconds of the very first round. And the winner, by way of TKO, Shawn Phillips!
So Shawn Phillips ensuring that he's got plenty in the tank to contest the semi-final, a first round knockout winner over Josh Groombridge, the man from Utah, put out of the tournament. Seems sportingly exchanging handshakes with his opponent's corner team there, but it's Shawn Phillips who progresses, and didn't he progress in impressive fashion? He's through to the semi-finals.
Well, he looks a bit like Canelo, doesn't he? Fought like him there.
The left hook.
Yeah.
The left hook he threw on the ropes within the opening few seconds. Ron picked up on it. For me, that buzzed Josh, and that was the beginning of the end in a way. And he picked his shots lovely after that, and great shot selection when he had him on the ropes, as we'll see here now.
This is where he first hurt him, yeah.
I think Paulie picked up on it, the body shot as well. He didn't just head on, and no, very, very mature performance from Shawn Phillips that.
Yeah, I thought he picked his punches well. It was a great straight right, but the left hook to the lever was unbelievable, champ. Look at this left hook. There you go, downstairs in the basement. Ooh, another one to the body. Let's go, champ. Gotta love it.
Unbelievably, that's only your second Let's Go champ of the evening. We're winding you up for the semi. I mean, look, what have you made of the standard, guys, of this in these first two fights?
No, 3 winners have been very good. And listen, even the 3 losers, the effort, the determination that's been put in from the boys in the fights, you cannot knock it. And this is what the kind of tournament does. 3 rounds. Each fighter gives absolutely everything, and you're guaranteed excitement. I think that's what we saw so far.
Yeah, and Shawn Phillips in that third quarter final there, he's got a nice bit of rest. He's 1 round, didn't take too much.
That's how I like it. First round knockouts. I'm the king of them. I'm telling you, that's the way. Make it easy. You get you get paid the same fee. And on top of that, man, I mean, these guys are really just jumping in, making it happen fast. This guy's going back. He's going to get some rest. This is a great format. Yeah. Let me in.
You're in. We let you in. Just quickly then, before we hear from Shawn Phillips, who have you been most impressed by so far in the 3 fights?
I got to tell you, that Conway kid was impressive. Whoever's fighting him, which is Derrick next, that's a tough fight.
That's what you were saying, as well. Impressive, Ciaran Conway.
I think we've seen that nice, classy movement from him, great ring craft, and he's been the one who stood out so far. But again, Shawn Phillips and Derrick Isazo, very, very good winners.
Yeah, job done then for Shawn Phillips. He's with Layla.
Our first TKO of the night in the first round. Did that go perfectly to plan?
We didn't really have a plan, go in there and just do what we do in the gym. Box, throw straight shots we knew was going to come, be aggressive. Straight down the pipe, worked lovely.
There was a body shot there that looked like it shook him. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I thought I was throwing lovely shots up and down. He was stopping in his tracks and managed to get a stoppage.
I guess one of the advantages of finishing the first round is the lack of fatigue now. What can we expect from you in the upcoming semi-final?
You have to wait and see.
We will. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Shawn Phillips.
So there we go. Kiran Conway, Derrick Isazo and Shawn Phillips all into the semis. 1 quarter-final left to decide the last semi-final place. Will it be the Southern Area champion Grant Dennis or the unbeaten Joe Hearn?
What sets me apart from other contenders is just my no-nonsense style, just coming forward, and I always go for the knockout, and I believe that's what the crowd want to see, and that's the style that I bring.
If I can see I can outbox someone, and if they're coming to me in straight lines and leaving themselves open, I will stop someone. If I see you hurt, you will get stopped. Like I say, you'll see what I bring to the ring, because I feel that my style and my ring IQ is second to none.
I'm not coming to survive or to lose, I'm coming to win.
This is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds.
Welcome back to Ultimate Boxer. We've missed you. The last semi-final place up for grabs now, and already in the ring, Joe Hearn and Grant Dennis.
Our judges scoring ringside are Mr. Lee Cook, Mr. Lee Every and Mr. Mark Bates. Our referee is Mr. Kieran McCann, and our timekeeper is Mr. Nick White. Scheduled for three-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing the black shorts, weighing in 11 stones and 8 pounds, with a professional record of 7 fights and 1 defeat. Representing Oxeter Staffs, the Fighting Pride, Josh Groombridge.
Any Russ? Too strong, pretty much too strong. Too strong for any of them.
In the blue corner, weighing in at 11 stones, 6 pounds and 8 ounces, with a professional record of 12 fights and 1 win, wearing the yellow shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 11 stones, 6 pounds and 8 ounces, with a record of 12 fights and 1 win, wearing the white shorts, representing Chatham, Kent, Grant Go-Getter Dennis! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, with the yellow shorts, weighing in at 11 stones and 8 pounds, with a professional record of 10 fights and 1 defeat, representing Clacton, Essex, Joe the Hitman Hearn! Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Mark Bates.
Okay, gentlemen, when I tell you to break, you take a step back immediately. Keep your punches up, obey my commands, and protect yourselves at all times. Good luck to you both. Tusk gloves.
So the final quarter-final here at Ultimate Boxer 3 is between 2 of the oldest men in the competition, and the boxer wearing white who just scored with a beautiful up jab. That is Grant Go-Getter Dennis, 35 years of age, from Chatham in Kent, competing in his 14th professional contest tonight. Got a terrific record as well, 12 victories, just 1 defeat, the former Southern Area champion, and his lone defeat coming when challenging for the English title. That gives you an idea of this man's pedigree and credentials. The man who is swinging freely with that big backhand is the heavy-handed Joe the Hitman Hearn from Clacton in Essex. A terrific knockout ratio. Of his 10 victories, 6 of them have come inside the distance. But did you see that clever little right hand that Grant Go-Getter Dennis just landed, where he arced the elbow and caught the man coming in? I conducted the draw at BT Studios for the tournament, and there was a little bit of needle between these two. Both of them ultimately professional, of course, but I think Grant Go-Getter Dennis, he channeled some of your energy, some of the Cannon's energy, because he was in no uncertain terms. He said, I'm here to win. This guy is not on my level, and my ring IQ is going to see me prevail. He was supremely confident, and you were not shy about telling your opponents what you were going to do to them, Paulie. Grant Go-Getter Dennis expressed that same type of philosophy and mentality.
Yeah, and he's a guy who has some good experience as a professional. You know, some of the guys in this tournament are less experienced. He's got some good experience, and this is actually one of the better matchups of the first round, if not the most even matchup of the first round, because Hearn has an equalizer with that big power, but Dennis has some craftiness and some good experience to him as well. So it's a solid matchup, and so far in the first round, we haven't seen anybody really take control of the round as of yet. While in the other 3 fights, by this point in the first round, we kind of could see already who was going to take control of the matchup. So good even matchup here between Dennis and Hearn in the 4th bout of the first round.
Well, the mouthpiece has been dislodged. Joe Hearn, you can see him bearing that gum shield when he's coming forward. His hands are around his pecs. He's not really protecting his chin. He goes by the nickname of the Hitman, but when I was speaking with him in the build-up to this contest, he said that he admires Triple G and just really enjoys the way former middleweight champ, walks down his opponents and brings that pressure. And that's what he's attempting to do here, but he's in with a skillful, slick operator in the go-getter, Grant Dennis.
Yeah, and Dennis likes to keep low, you know, to get out of the way of those looping big punches of Joe Hearn, and so far it's worked for him. Nobody's been able to really take control of the round or land a huge shot. So it's still up for grabs here, but a good solid jab by Dennis. That might be the difference in the round. These are a couple little sharp jabs by Grant Dennis.
Counter right hand to the body wasn't too far away, but that was a definite left jab which scored. But look at the response it brings from Hearn. He sticks his tongue out in the direction of the go-getter, as if to say, is that all you've got? Bring it. Nice burst of punches to the body just before the bell.
And Hearn is a tough guy. Hearn is a tough guy, but he's got to be a bit more effective with his style. So I think Dennis's jab was a bit of an advantage there in the first round.
Listen, you got in there.
There's some action from the end of the round. Nothing's getting through there, but a good jab by Dennis. You see Hearn doesn't really care for the jab too much. He says it's not bothering him, but those are scoring shots. And in a round where it was hard to really tell them apart,
you're just trying to make him eat a big shot.
With twos and threes, he can't stand it.
Whip the shots in. Whip him in fast. Yeah. Come on. That's where you're powerful, man. Yeah. Don't load.
One more. Big jab. One more water.
If you keep loading up, your work rate's going to be down.
That's it. Don't look for one biggie. Let your shots flow.
Yeah, you must let them flow, or your work rate's going to be down. Yep. Let those hands flow.
Even though Grant Dennis, the more experienced fighter in his sport at the higher level, terrific experience in the corner, the brains trust of Joe Hearn. John Thaxton on the outside of the road shows so too Graham Everett, giving him calm instructions as he comes out for this second round. But it's Grant Dennis who's looking to establish that jab once again. You heard Hearn's corner telling him not to load up, and he's being caught by a beautiful right-hand counter. He's staying in punching range, but Grant Dennis's accuracy to begin this second round is notable. There's the right hand once again.
Yeah, he's a bit more craftier in the second round. And Hearn is a bit one-dimensional. You know, he's looking for his big shot, and they're trying to get Hearn to use his jab in the corner, but he looks kind of awkward when he uses it. He's not stepping correctly, and he's kind of got his chin up in the air when he uses that jab. And Dennis is probably better balanced. He's staying a bit low, so he's able to put punches together. Hearn has to kind of loosen up a little bit, a bit stiff, so he's not able to put the punches together the way Grant Dennis is.
There's that looping right hand over the top once again from Grant Dennis. Just 2 inside the distance victories in his 12 victories to this point in his career. Beautiful left jab out of that peekaboo stance from Grant Dennis. And Hearn showing plenty of industry. Got through with a left jab there. But the sharper left jab is coming from the man in the white shorts. Left hook landed from Dennis. Hearns wasn't too far away. And a 3-punch salvo just grazes the chin of Hearn, who's looking to land his own heavy leather.
And you see Hearn, even when he uses the jab, he falls in. He falls in onto his front foot, so he's not able to follow it up with a right hand or a hook. You see it there again. So Hearn, they want him to use the jab, but his balance is so terrible when he uses his jab that it's almost like it works against him anyway. So there it is again. He's not able to follow up the jab with anything behind it. So therefore, when he's throwing other shots, good shot combination by Grant Dennis there. When he's throwing other punches besides the jab, they don't come behind the jab. They have to come on their own. You'd like for him to be able to smoothly transition the jab into right hands and left hooks.
Well, the ponderous looking right hand winged in from Hearn.
And again, it's because of his bad balance.
Dennis always moving in front of his man. We were both in the gym as he lands a sharp left jab. We were both in the gym when he was, beautiful left hook to finish that combination. There's a left hook once again, which was preceded by a right hand from Grant Go-Getter Dennis. I was about to share with the audience, Paulie, that we were both at Stonebridge Boxing Club when he was sparring James DeGale, when James DeGale was getting ready for what proved to be his last fight against Chris Eubank Jr., and he demonstrates plenty of sharpness and cute punch-picking ability, particularly on the inside.
Yes, he does. He's a crafty little fighter. A good little uppercut there, picks his shots, and he's getting into a real good rhythm here in this fight. He's having a great second round against Hearn, who's staying tough but very, very frustrated.
That's how we got fun. Still sometimes it's there more. Like So you're throwing the shots and then waiting again. Well, you can be bam, 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 take the shots, bam, 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 flow. Look.
And see some of the action from that last round. And again, it's the combination punching of Grant Dennis. And really Hearn has not been able to keep up with it. There again, you see Hearn how square he is. Look how square Joe Hearn is there. He was about to come forward, crossing his feet, so he's not even set to punch. And now look at where he's punching from. He's kind of squared up, not really balanced properly, so he's not able to put more than one punch at a time together, while Grant Dennis puts together little combinations and he's fighting the distance more and more.
It's no good throwing a 1-2, put a left hook behind it and another shot down the middle. Come on, this is 4 shots.
So into the third and final round then, and Grant Dennis right back onto that sharp shooting left jab. Look how many times he scored with it in the opening 10 seconds of this third and final round. Nice sharp punches on the inside, landed by Dennis. And Hearn, for all his industry, is presenting a rather static square on target, standing in front of the go-getter. There's a heavy-handed right which lands, and a left. And by standing and holding his ground in return, Grant Dennis just engaging in a bit of a shootout, and that brings Joe Hearn right back into the round.
Good little sidestep by Grant Dennis to set up more punches, but of course he is playing a bit of the danger game with a big puncher like Joe Hearn, as Hearn is now going to load up everything, knowing he needs a knockout to win this fight.
Now Dennis employing the movement behind that jab once again. Hearn trying to demonstrate some head movement of his own. He's been waved forward by John Faxton from the red corner. Hearn really planting his feet and winging in those hooks, but again you see the nice defensive maneuvers of Grant Dennis.
And good smother tactics by Dennis as well. When he's not able to get out or slip and slide, he gets inside and smothers the power of Joe Hearn by eliminating the space Hearn has to really get any leverage on the punches.
Trains out of Champions Gym in Colchester, Essex. Does Joe Hearn, mixes that with a full-time job in construction. Right hand as he just switched southpaw momentarily from Grant Dennis. That nice head movement caused the man to miss. Joe Hearn momentarily stopped boxing there and took a shot on the chops in response. Look at that combination success for Grant Dennis, but that only encourages Joe Hearn to mug in his direction and pour forwards.
Look at the balance of Joe Hearn. Look, all his weight is on his front foot constantly, not just in the inside here. But watch when he gets in his stance. He will be on his front foot constantly. There he is again. You first of all, when you're front foot heavy, you will always get hit with a lot of jabs because it's the easiest thing to touch you with. I can remember Roy Jones when he fought John Ruiz. They asked him why he was able to land so many jabs, and he said he's front foot heavy. And this is a great example of it here as well. Grant Dennis has been able to land a lot of good jabs, but mainly it's been Joe Hearn who's helped him because he's so front foot heavy.
What a right hand on the counter from Grant Dennis, and it causes Joe Hearn to sink down to a knee. Referee Mark Bass tolling the mandatory 8 count. Less than 30 seconds to go in the round, and the referee has seen enough.
And it was a counter right hand over the top of that front foot heavy jab. He leans in. I said earlier in the fight, he keeps leaning in with that jab, and it was only a matter of time before this right hand was able to finally land. You end up paying for it when you fall in this way with your jab constantly.
So Joe Hearn, consigned to his first defeat in the professional ranks, stopped in the third round by the go-getter Grant Dennis, who books his place in the final 4, who also won Shawn Phillips by a first-round stoppage. That's who he will be facing. But Grant Dennis celebrating with his team after landing a beautiful counter right hand right on the button. And it sent Joe Hearn to the canvas and ultimately out of the contest.
And look at it, there was an example of it again. You saw Hearn, too much weight on his front foot. He's leaning forward when he's throwing that jab. He's not keeping his body positioned properly. And it was only a matter of time before that happened, because he'd done that the entire fight, where he was falling in on that front foot behind that jab. And there it is. Big right hand over the top of the jab, counter right hand.
So Joe Hearn loses for the first time in his 12th professional contest tonight. He gave it his absolute all, but the ring craft of Grant Dennis proving to be too much on this occasion. He's our second winner inside the distance in the quarterfinal stage. He goes through to the semi-finals where Shawn Phillips awaits. Both men, neither of them, having to leave this one in the hands of the judges. Grant Dennis, full of confidence, very exuberant. He has punched his ticket through to the semi-finals. Third round stoppage victor over Joe Hitman Hearn. So again, just a spot of housekeeping regarding the tournament format. We've got about outside of the Ultimate Boxer tournament coming up. So the Ultimate Boxer contestants will have about a 30-minute break before we proceed with semi-final number 1. Plenty more action to come though from the Indigo Theatre here at the O2 Arena, but it'll be Idris Virgo, the reality star from Love Island, will be competing in yet another appearance here at the Indigo Theatre in the O2 before the Ultimate Boxer tournament resumes in about 30 minutes time.
Ladies and gentlemen, another epic clash in our 4th and final quarter-final. Make some noise for both of these warriors! Our timekeeper, Mr. Nick White, stopped the action at 2 minutes and 38 seconds of the 3rd and final round. And the winner, by way of referee stoppage, in the blue corner, Grant Go-Getter Dennis!
Well, the go-getter has got himself through to the semi-final stage, a 3rd round stoppage victor over Joe Hearn. Hearn eliminated, and it's the go-getter who goes through.
Yeah, Grant Dennis, guys, had sparred, hadn't he, with James DeGale, as Ron was saying, with Chris Eubank Jr., with Billy Joe Saunders. You can see why they'd want to spar with him. Nearly as slick as Paulie Malignaggi's bow tie.
Ooh, slick as grease.
But he's got something special, isn't he?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Yeah. He's unbelievable. Go ahead, champ.
As the fight went on as well, the impressive for me is he got better and better. First fight, probably fought Joe Hearn's fight a little bit too much. He established the jab after the first round, and then the fight was all his, and the shot that finished with, what a shot.
Brutal. Shannon.
What I was impressed was his slipping. He was slipping that jab, and I kept seeing it, and I was like, wow, something's coming over top. He was short in the first round, second round. There it is. Let's go, champ. Caught him right on the chin. He slipped. It was being set up with the slips all night.
No way he's carrying on after that.
Look at that.
No way. And Paulie picked up on it. Joe Hearn, everything was very front foot heavy. And it was always open for that shot. And again, we mentioned it about all the losers, that there was nothing wrong with his art. He kept coming, he kept looking for that big shot. Yeah. And listen, if it was up to him, he'd be back in there again in a bit. He just loves to fight. But yeah, very impressive from Grant Dennis as it went on as well.
First defeat of his career for Joe Hearn, but you can see, you know, he's the slickest of the middleweights, isn't he, Grant Dennis, that we've seen so far in those 4?
You know, well, I got to tell you, him and Conway, it could be a great fight. Two technicians, two really sharp guys like knives. I mean, you know, really sharp guys. I mean, it's hard to say, but this is a great night of boxing.
It is.
Did you see Grant? Did you see this guy? He was so slick. He was slipping. The right hand was sharp. And his jab, his counter jab was sweet.
4 cracking fights. Let's hear from Grant Dennis with Layla.
Grant, you lit up in the second round. I spot Leon McKenzie in your corner. What was said to you and what changed?
Stop falling in, get to my boxing. I know technically I was more superior, but he got me into a little bit of a fight at first. But then as soon as I got behind my boxing, I warmed into it. And as he was coming in, I picked the shot, and I knew as soon as I land that on anyone in the world, they're gone.
I'm going to use your own words. He definitely got you into a little bit of a fight, and he kept coming forward despite what you threw at him. Any words on him?
Like I said before, when I drew him, I said, I'm going to be the matador, you're the bull, I know that. First of all, it was like 2 bulls. I turned into the matador, and that's what happened.
That you did indeed. Congratulations, you're through to the semi-final.
There you go. That one's over. 2 more to go.
Yeah, Grant Dennis.
Yeah.
So this is how it looks, our semi-final lineup. Kiran Conway taking on Derrick Isazo in semi-final 1. And then in the second semi, Shawn Phillips against the man we just heard from, Grant Dennis. Shannon Briggs, Anthony Crolla ringside with me. Great standard, really great 4 fights. Yeah. You were fancying Kiran Conway early on, but you know, what are we looking like there? A Conway-Dennis final?
I'm not sure. Listen, Grant Dennis and Shawn Phillips, I think it's going to be a battle of the jabs. Who can establish the jab first goes on to win that fight. I believe we'll meet Conway in the final, but you can't count Jose. He's very cute, sort of old man. old man, his last opponent, Tangling Jones.
Be careful, you said old man.
So
You're not
listen,
an old man.
you can't call it again. 3 rounds, they come out at a frantic pace. One shot can change things.
Yeah, Shannon, just going back then to your days in this tournament-style boxing, what goes through your mind at this stage now? Because we talk tactically how you approach this, but when you've got the quarterfinals out the way, what are you thinking at this stage?
Well, the whole thing is, you know, you get a knockout, a big win in your first fight. You got to kind of stay calm because you start getting overexcited. You got to get rest. You got to let that adrenaline come down a little bit and then go back out there a little while. So the whole thing is to be calm, keep yourself relaxed. You're ready for the next one.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Right, let's hear from Mr. Steve Bunce, who's backstage with the winner of the first quarter-final, Buncey.
Thanks so much indeed, Will. By the way, the Shannon the Cannon Briggs Let's Go Champ count is up to 74. I've got him at short odds to do 500 Let's Go Champs tonight. I've got to tell you, Kieran, Shannon the Cannon Briggs, he said, I think he half fancies you to win the tournament. He's called you a sharp tactician. What did it feel like tonight? Did it feel okay, nice and fresh?
Yeah, I felt good. I felt good, but not as good as I have been in the past. But I think that's just warmed me up, and I actually feel really good now. I feel better than I did in the first fight.
So what have you done in the hour or so, or the 45 minutes since you boxed? I mean, have you stripped down, had a shower, stripped off, slept, kipped, eaten? What have you done?
No, I just sat in there, chilled, watched the rest of the boxing on TV, had a bite of cereal bar and a bit of water, and that's it.
Have you ever had anything like this before in any sort of multi-tournament where you've had to box, 2 or 3 times in one day? Have you ever had that, amateur?
No, never more than once in a day, but over a weekend, three times and stuff. But I feel good anyway. It's good. It's not all good fun. Yeah.
Now, you've watched the other 3 guys, the man you're going to be fighting, the preacher, Isazo. You've seen him, and you watched the other 2 winners. Are you picking up things? Do you think one of them's a lot better than the other? Are you fearing any of them?
Not fearing anyone. I think I'm the danger man in this competition still. You pick up a little bit when you're watching them on TV, but you're not in there with them, are you? So we'll find out in round 1.
We know one thing about this tournament and all formats like this. The boxers generally win, and the guys that have been matched hard. And there's a guy over there getting his bandages done. He's going to be in a contest later on. He was the winner of Ultimate Boxer 2. I think he was involved in 3 fights. He put down 3 men about 11 times. Hey, that's another way to win. You can knock them out.
Thank you, Buncey, my boy. Right, so while the Ultimate Boxers take a rest, we'll be back after the break with more action. This man, Idris Virgo, became a big hit, you might remember, on reality TV with Love Island. He's looking to make his name in the boxing ring. There'll be no love lost in there. The unbeaten super middleweight. He's up next. Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying this live at the Indigo at the O2. We've reached the semi-final stage of Ultimate Boxer, but before the last four do battle, we're going to take a look at Idris Virgo, looking to show there's more to him than just a TV reality star.
Ladies and gentlemen, your scoring judge and referee for this match is Mr. Lee Cook, and your timekeeper is Mr. Lee White. Nick White, scheduled over 4 3-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing the black shorts, weighing in at 11 stone, 11 pounds and 10 ounces, with a professional record of 2 wins and 4 defeats. Representing the Czech Republic, Reni Malik! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner wearing the blue shorts, weighing in 11 stones, 13 pounds and 4 ounces, with an undefeated record of 3 fights and 3 wins. Representing Birmingham, Idris Virgo! Mr. Lee Cook is in charge of the action.
Okay, you both know the rules. Defend yourself at all times. Keep your punches clean and on target, and when I tell you to break, do so straight away and take a step back. Shake hands. Good luck to you both.
This contest is scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division, even though both boxers weighed in considerably over the 160-pound middleweight limit. The boxer wearing the blue trunks and the white gloves is Idris Virgo, competing in his 4th professional contest tonight. The former reality star from Love Island, not too far away with a counter left jab there. The boxer wearing the black trunks and the black gloves is Mr. Reni Malik from the Czech Republic, competing in his 7th professional contest tonight, a record of 2 wins, 4 losses. Beautiful left jab landed by Virgo. Man is from the Czech Republic, but only 2 fights in his homeland. The rest have been on the road in Germany, fighting here in the UK for the first time. Virgo having success with that low-held left jab that he's firing upwards from his belt line to begin this contest. Swarming aggression on the front foot from Malik. And Virgo backing himself into a corner, making himself a bit confined.
Yeah, Malik put together some nice punches there. He missed most of them, but the couple that landed actually landed pretty solidly. Virgo's got to get a bit of more respect from Malik. He's got to dictate with that jab. He's throwing it well, but he wants to stick it well. And he wants to make sure it's landing well, so that it gives Malik a little bit of a hesitancy to get so aggressive. Oh, big right hand, wow.
And Virgo on the canvas, but he's ruled a slip immediately. The legs got tangled.
I don't know about that one. That was a big right hand by Malik.
And just worth pointing out that of Malik's 2 victories, one of them has come inside the distance. That was in fight number 5, and he's looking for his man with aggressive intent once again. Mention the fact that both men came in over the middleweight limit. It was Virgo, who started as a super middleweight, working his way down to the 160-pound middleweight limit, but he was still 11 stone 12 coming into this contest.
Cut there on the head of Malik. I don't know if he's cut from a punch or from a headbutt, but that's a nice size cut there.
Around the right eye. So incident-filled first round so far, and Malik plenty of aggression.
Yeah, but he's found a home for that right hand. He's fought a good round. I mean, even without the knockdown taken away from him, I still think he probably has won this round so far in the last 30 seconds. Let's see how Virgo's able to finish this round. Nice combination by Virgo there.
Finished with a right hand on that salvo from Virgo. So Malik cut around the right eye, planting his feet and swinging in big shots. Virgo, it's a small boxing ring, but he's voluntarily retreating to the corners, which is reducing his avenues of escape. Takes a left hand, which causes him to blink. Then he lands a cuffing left hook on the inside. Bit of a firefight to conclude this opening round. Scheduled for 4, but if it carries on like this, I suspect he's not going to go the scheduled distance.
Yeah, I mean, both guys looking like they're teetering. Like either of them could go down.
Was any?
It's all right. I thought that was a good right hand. Yeah, you know what? There was some tripping though. Maybe the right hand would have landed and it wouldn't have. You know what? From the top though, that's about as good of a right hand as you're gonna get. That was a clean landing shot. But of course, it may not have knocked him down if not for the feet. It's a possibility. I guess. Yeah, okay. I guess it's a judgment call.
Draw. So lots of jabs, lots of body work, and then we're good for the cut in the third round, right?
After jab, yeah.
So we don't go for the cut in this round.
So into the second round then. Both boxers enjoyed success in the opening round. Virgo looking to establish that left jab to begin this second round. Right hand that followed it wasn't too far away before the two boxers fell into a clinch, but just look at the aggression from Malik, who is landing right hands and checking the chin of Idris Virgo.
I'll tell you what, Malik can't miss the right hand. I mean, the first round he landed a good amount of them. He may have even had the knockdown if it had been ruled differently with the right hand. And he started the second round landing some good right hands too. And Virgo has to be careful. He's got that low left hand, but if you're going to have a low left hand, you have to be very careful with the right hand. A lot of areas again. You can't be that much of a target because if fighters that have a low left hand usually invite the right hand so they can counter it. It's usually a trap. It's set. That's set. It also hides the jab very well. And they can use the up jab very well. But Virgo really is not doing either of them. He's not using it. He's not very busy with his jab, and he's not slipping any right hands when Malik throws them. So he's got to make this adjustment. There's a good jab there. He needs more of that. He probably wants to mix in some different rhythm, maybe with a feint or whatnot.
Well, referee Lee Cook just calling up the doctor to take a look at that damaged right eye. Corner haven't been able to staunch the flow of blood, and you can see how severe it is just above the right optic. Malik will be hoping that he's able to continue.
It'd be a technical draw.
I don't know. What do you think?
But it's been stopped.
They stopped it.
So Reni Malik.
Was it from a punch? I don't even know what it was from.
Well, we'll get the announcement. I didn't see an indication as to whether it was a punch or a clash of heads or a stray elbow which caused the cut in the first round. But it's a cut that has concluded this contest. So Idris Virgo extends his unbeaten record. Reni Malik not able to continue. But he was playing his part in what was turning out to be a very even, exciting contest because both men, they were neglecting their defense and they were both getting tagged by the shots that were coming in their direction.
Yeah, they were. Malik, I thought Malik's right hand was a clear shot that was really standing out of all the shots they were landing. But you know what? Virgo can get back to the gym. And get back on the. Oh, let's see here. We see the head clash here from the first round. Let's see. It's a good right hand there by Virgo. That's what we see so far. That's a right hand. I don't know if that opened up the cut though, because that replay doesn't really explain where the cut came from. But it was a good right hand by Virgo, I guess. I guess that's what we did see in the replay. But going back to what I was saying was Virgo can get back to the gym and work on slipping the right hands and properly positioning himself so he doesn't take so many right hands in the process.
Well, he's been sparring with Billy Joe Saunders, Ahara Davis, world title challenger Jimmy Kelly said that he learned a tremendous amount from sharing the ring with those more experienced professionals. He's got his 4th win out of 4 here tonight. My goodness, did he absorb a few right hands from rugged Reni Malik from the Czech Republic. Let's get the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Mr. Lee Cook, stopped the action after 1 minute and 50 seconds of the second round. Due to an accidental head clash, it is a technical draw.
So, it was an accidental clash of heads which caused the cut, hence a technical draw. Idris Virgo remaining undefeated, but his record no longer a perfect one. This is where we think the heads came together in that opening round. Just bumping
Yeah,
while Virgo was at his back on the ropes.
Yeah, that seems like where it could happen. People will say, "Oh, that's not a bad head clash." Well, you know, when it's bone on bone, you don't really need a bad head clash. You know, I've been cut by a lot less than that, with heads just touching at the right place, right on top of your eye. So, technical draw does the trick here, and both guys can get back in the gym and work on the things that they've learned tonight.
So, given the rather unsatisfactory ending for both boxers, perhaps we'll see that one again. Rene Molik, no aversion to going on the road, but Idris Virgo, a technical draw after Rene Molik sustained a cut right eye in the first round. We'll no doubt see those guys on our screens again in the future for a go-over.
Well, what a night we've had so far at the Indigo at the O2. A full house, 50 grand up for grabs. That was the filler fight. After the break, we are back with the Ultimate Boxers. And guess what? It's semi-final stage. Welcome back to Ultimate Boxer. We're at the semi-final stage. Still lots to come. That's Ciaran Conway winning his first quarter-final, followed by Derrick Isazo knocking down Tangling Jones to reach the semi-finals. And then we saw Shawn Phillips with a brutal knockdown here of into the semi-final. And the final quarter-final that we've seen this evening saw Grant Dennis reach the semis by stopping the unbeaten Joe Hearn. And this is how the semi-final lineup looks. Kiran Conway will take on Derrick Isazo. That's the first semi-final here in London, followed by Shawn Phillips against Grant Dennis. Right, let's go backstage to Steve Bunce, who is with one of the semi-finalists. Buncey.
Derrick, what What have you been doing since you boxed about an hour
Yeah,
ago?
just resting, relaxing, you know, get the legs up, let the heart rate calm down, calm my body down, have a bit of a drink and a little bit of a snack. Then we start some dynamic stretching. The muscles are already warm, so we don't need to overdo it.
And you've kept your bandages on?
Yeah, man, they're going to stay on to the final.
And did you watch Ciaran Conway win?
No, I didn't watch. I don't need to focus on him. I'm going to focus on me being the best version of myself, and the victories is already guaranteed.
Well, listen, I'm going to have to let you go because they're over there with your bag. Thanks very much. Enjoy yourself. Good man. It was a little bit tight, that, because we've kept him waiting between the two of us. That's the way it works. It's live TV.
Cheers, Butsy. Never keep a boxer waiting. With Layla right now is a man, a very interesting spectator from just down the road. Layla.
Spectator indeed is a man here who knows a KO or 2 or 17. Anthony Yard joining me now. Have you had a good night so far?
I've had a very good night. I feel like it's been a good show so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the fights.
Tell me your thoughts on the format and the style, especially the fact that we've got, obviously you're aware of 3 3-minute rounds, but the fact that they might be fighting 3 times in one night.
Well, similar to the amateurs. So I've been there, done it. Everyone that knows, I've had 12 amateur fights, 11 knockouts. So in these kind of competitions, you get a lot of knockouts because everyone's putting it all on the line. So it's exciting.
And how about you? What's coming up? Because we've all been teased in the news with a potential confirmed fight, but it's not officially confirmed. What can you tell us?
Well, nothing's done until it's done, but we're very, very, very close. Very close.
Yes, indeed. We look forward to it. Thank you very much, Anthony Yard.
Layla, thanks very much. Shannon Briggs and Anthony Crolla ringside with us here for Ultimate Boxer. How rested can you be, guys? Shannon, after you've gone through a pretty intense quarter-final, most of them, weren't they? How on the game can you be after that for the semi?
You're on point. You're on point. The thing is, like I said, not to get too excited, not to, get the adrenaline up too far, relax, come back, stretch again, get back to work.
Yeah, I think all that, you've got to take that all into consideration. And also, as well, what's not been mentioned too much, nutrition as well. You've got to make sure you stay hydrated. Definitely. And get the right fuel in your in-between fights. But I'm looking forward to this. Azazi, very cool customer. Conway, very confident. The winner of this next fight could win the whole tournament.
For sure.
It's interesting, Shannon, though, isn't it, how the corners play this, how the coaches play this, because it's kind of untrodden territory, really, isn't it, for a lot of these? There's no method, there's no science behind tournament boxing. When you take a rest, when you hydrate, when you do certain things.
Yeah, you just got to be on point. You got to know in training coming to a fight like this that, you know what, after this next win, I got to be prepared for the next one. So you do the same thing in training, believe it or not. You spar guys, you take some time off, you spar again. We've all done it. Let's go, champ.
It's been a great spectacle. Shannon's banging on about the format, but it's been brilliant. If we have fights at that standard, this thing can go far.
Yeah, every fight's delivered. Every fight's delivered now, and I hope the same with the 2 semi-finals. I think they might be a bit more tactical now, especially the second semi-final, but maybe one for the purists. But who's to say we don't see more knockdowns, knockouts?
And Shannon, we've probably had the 4 most skillful fighters make the semi-finals, which is great.
That's a fact. As you can see, each guy that's won has been technically sharp. He's a sharpshooter. He's well defended, great defense. So as my brother here said, as the fights go on, you'll see less knockouts maybe, but better fights.
Okay, it is semi-final time here for Ultimate Boxer. Over to Lance.
So, the quarterfinals are complete. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready to move on to the semi-finals, somebody make some noise! Let's meet our boxers. First of all, in the blue corner, Derrick Isazo.
So approaching the ring for his semi-final in this Ultimate Boxer 3 tournament is the punching preacher, Derrick Isazo, now 7-0 after his points victory over Tangling Jones, the former Southern Area champion, in his quarter-final. Put Lynn Jones on the canvas in the second round and prevailed with a unanimous decision, 27-29 for all 3 of the scoring judges. He displayed some crafty veteran skills despite that being just his 7th contest in the pro ranks. Rough customer on the inside, sharp punch picker from the outside. Punching preacher Derrick Isazo with a final moment of reflection before his opponent makes his way to the ring.
And next, let's introduce his opponent into the red corner, Kiran Conway.
Well, it was Ciaran Conway who contested the first quarter-final here at the Indigo Theatre at the O2 Arena. A beautiful boxing display against Carn Hawes from Essex. Demonstrated good variety, terrific range, the ability to box on the outside, at mid-range and in the pocket as well. The left-handed orthodox fighter did the majority of his work behind a heavy left jab, and this one promises to be quite a matchup to see who goes through to contest the final.
Both guys very crafty, so this is going to be interesting, but two different ways of being crafty. As Isazo a bit rough around the edges, even though he's crafty, and Conway a bit more smooth, pretty boxer.
Your judges scoring ringside are Mr. Mark Bates, Mr. Kieran McCann and Mr. Lee Cook. Your referee is Mr. Lee Every, and your timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Bob Edgeworth. Scheduled for three 3-minute rounds in the first of our semi-finals. Introducing first in the blue corner, wearing the grey shorts. In the quarterfinals, he defeated Tangling Jones, representing Nottingham, Derrick Isazo. Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the pink shorts. In the quarterfinals, he defeated Carn Hawes, representing Northampton, Kiran Conway! Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Lee Every.
Okay, lads, when I say stop, you stop boxing. When I say break, take a step back. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck to you both.
Let's get down to business.
So we're underway then, the first semi-final of Ultimate Boxer 3 here in the middleweight division. The taller boxer wearing the pink shorts is Ciaran Conway. Goes by the ring moniker 2-class. His opponent looking for left hands to the body. A slightly more compact boxer who's been turned, firing a right hand out of the corner. But while he was firing that single, Ciaran Conway was letting a sharp shooting combination go. Terrific start to this first semi-final.
Yeah, and you can see both of their craftiness. Ciaran would like to fight at this distance, but the ring is not that big. And Isazo is very crafty in the way he moves in, behind some good head movement, changing his levels up and down. Really difficult to time, and he gets inside.
See, Conway scored with a left jab, but Isazo came back with that right hand over the top, starting downstairs before moving up to the head. With Conway on the ropes was Isazo. Blocking that shot that came in his direction with the gloves. Isazo looking for that right hand once again. That's the shot that he used to put Tangling Jones on the canvas in his quarter-final.
You see Conway going back to those little pivots. He does, especially over to his right. He spins Isazo around with those little pivots to the right. You see Isazo not accepting the clinch like he shouldn't. He's working on the inside and keeping those hands moving. See, Conway wants this distance, is where he's comfortable at. Inside is where Isazo wants to work.
You can see from those marks on the back of Ciaran Conway just how much time he's been spending on the ropes. He gets his head jolted back by a straight shot there from Isazo. And again, you mentioned the comparatively small ring compared to what these guys are used to operating in. It's a small, intimate theatre here at the Indigo, at the O2. And to fit into this space, the ring is small. Not much space for Conway to circumnavigate as he usually does in his 11th fight career today. Tangle of legs causes Isazo to trip to the canvas. But that's where those pivots that he demonstrates in this quarterfinal are going to be so important.
Yeah, and I think Conway would be well served to go to the body. Right there, Isazo takes a good, covers well to the top, but Conway has some openings to the body if he's able to touch up top, get the gloves of Isazo upstairs, and then touch downstairs real quickly. But Isazo keeps that forward pressure, forward momentum, and he takes away the space from Conway, which is what he wants, what he needs to keep doing to be successful.
Fight his way off the ropes once again. Conway closing seconds of this opening round. There's that terrific left jab once again, partially blocked by the gloves of Isazo.
Tidy up, box up.
So less frantic action than we saw in the quarterfinals. You'd expect nothing less.
Yeah,
as the stakes get increased.
Close round. It looked like Isazo landed the cleaner shots, but Conway was a bit busier. I think Conway would probably need to use some more feints to try to open Isazo up a little bit.
To lose this round. Whatever happens, you can't afford to lose this round.
Some of the work from that first round. There's a good right hand from Isazo and the flurry by Conway. It's a matter of what you like there. I think Isazo landed the better, cleaner shots in there too. The good sharp jab. Conway was busier, but just didn't land as cleanly as Isazo was covered well with the gloves up high.
More pressure. Yeah. That's what you've got a WBC world title shot if you get this, and I swear, I promise you have.
So referee just reminding both boxers of their responsibility to keep this one clean before calling time in to begin the second round. You may have overheard Father James Conway, Kieran's trainer, in that corner, telling Ciaran, who's just taken a stiff right hand, that he cannot afford to lose this round. So that gives you an indication as to how close he feels the opening round was.
Yeah. And again, Isazo has a very crafty way of coming forward. He avoids shots, different rhythm, and then when he gets inside, he does not let you get comfortable.
I mentioned in the quarterfinal just what an accomplished amateur career Ciaran Conway enjoyed. 84 fights altogether in the singlet, winning 69 of them. But he said as a junior, as he takes a stiff left jab from Isazo, right hand over the top was defended effectively, but that jab got through once again. And Isazo using that shot terrifically, trying to bring the right hand around that was so effective for him in the quarterfinals.
And that's the thing, you know, he talked about Conway's amateur pedigree, but one thing you do not see in the amateurs is a style like Isazo's. Isazo is a very professional style, very physical, does a couple of, will bend the rules his way, and on his way inside, he will, you know, change levels and use little attributes that you don't typically see in the amateurs. So no matter how much experience Conway has, and he's obviously a polished fighter, and he's a good fighter, as we saw in the first fight, Isazo is able to nullify a lot of that, and it's up to Conway to make adjustments. There's a good right hand by Conway.
Yeah, it's a beautiful right hand that he caught Isazo with, perhaps his best shot of the contest. And again, it's rough on the inside once more, calling Lee Every into the action to break up the fighters before they get back into punching distance. 84 fights, 69 wins in the amateur ranks after going 50-50 in his junior career. He only lost one of his last 27 contests, Ciaran Conway. That's how he matured, as he manages to ride a right hand that comes crashing in his direction. Good punch picking from Conway now, as Isazo slowing down, trying to get into the pocket, and that slightly slower foot movement is allowing Conway to enjoy success at his preferred distance on the outside.
Yeah, and that was a good salvo the last 15 seconds or so by Conway. He needs to be more consistent with that.
And how difficult is it for both boxers, for all the semi-finalists now, to get that adrenaline firing once again after that lull that they had after their quarterfinals?
Yeah, and of course also, you know, it's your second fight of the night, so you're going to start seeing some possibly some fading in the final part of the fight. We'll see.
Well, Ciaran Conway enjoying a very good second half of this second round. Isazo's feet just slowing a little bit. Let's listen in.
Yeah, I want a bit around. Understand? Yeah, I want a bit around. Ancient miss is losing energy. Open. Pass round, touch guard, much better. Well done. Okay, excellent. But you spit. You let your hands go your time. Yeah? Way better, way better.
don't fall fucking asleep here, yeah, and let him back in this contest. He's got 30 seconds. He's got 30 seconds in him. You pop that jab and move, and look them fast 1-2s. Right. Let's go.
Well, what a contrast in the corners between the end of the first and second rounds, because not concerned, but there was more urgency in the words of Father James Conway in the instructions to Ciaran at the end of round 1. But then that sense of urgency, that sense of intensity was reversed, because it was Isazo's corner who were more concerned at the conclusion of round 2, telling Derrick that they want a big round. So it could well be 1 round apiece after 2 completed rounds here. This contest up for grabs and less than 3 minutes to decide it.
Yeah, it could be. Last round, Conway had a good final part of the round. I thought the early part of the round was still for Isazo, so the second round was close in my eyes, as was the first round, but Isazo just seems to be controlling the ring a bit better, and so I think Conway needs a very good third round here to really keep it up in leave it up in the air.
Stark contrast to the lengthy amateur career enjoyed by Kiran Conway. Derrick Isazo, 19 fights, the man who grew up in Peckham but now fights side of Nottingham. Started at 15, was frustrated by injury. He's had fights for Phoenix, lovely left jab landed by Isazo. Had fights for Phoenix Amateur Boxing Club in Nottingham, where Carl Froch came out of, some for the Fitzroy Lodge as well. But he said he feels his style is far more suited to the pro ranks as he marauds forwards once again. The right hand over the top was short, but the left jab which followed was right on the money.
And Conway going straight back. You never want to go straight back like that, because, you know, punches can follow you if a fighter remains balanced and can follow you backwards. And Isazo did just that with a sharp jab after missing the overhand right.
Well, this seesaw battle continuing here in the third round, because after enjoying a strong conclusion to round 2, it's Conway who appears slightly more fatigued here. And Isazo, the fresher, walking his man down with intent, trying to pin him to the strands and work away to both body and head.
And sometimes the mental part of a fight is very important. Here, you know, the guys are getting fatigued because it's their second fight of the night, and you know, it's round 3 of the second fight of the night. So now you kind of have to dig down. It becomes a little bit of a battle of attrition. Always technique, and you want to have great technique, but attrition also comes into it here. And Isazo is using that is trying to mentally break Conway here.
Terrific pressure being applied by Isazo, who helped himself to another shot when referee Lee Every instructed them to step back. That's an example of how he fights on the edge of the rulebook as he continues to look for his man with educated front foot pressure, behind educated front foot pressure once again. Nice defensive footwork used by Conway to get out of the corner, but after making the man miss, he didn't make him pay.
And it's hard to make Isazo miss when he pays, because he throws such unorthodox punches that you don't know where he's going to wind up. So counter-punching him is a bit of a more difficult proposition. And figuring that out in 3 rounds is even more difficult.
My goodness, what a contest we have just witnessed. It was only 3 rounds, but there were so many ebbs and flows, so many shifts of supremacy, however minor they may have been. We're going to the scoring judges to determine the outcome of this one. Mark Bates, Kieran McCann and Lee Cook have to separate these 2 fighters. Ciaran Conway concluded the second round in very strong fashion. Derrick Isazo came out with effective, aggressive intent in round number 3. Who will be going through to contest the final here?
We'll see, we'll see. You know, it was a well-fought fight. I think Isazo may have edged it, but we'll see.
Isazo appearing the fresher in the third and final round. He's the man who's raising his hand in acknowledgement of being, or in anticipation of being declared the victor. These are going to be nervous moments for the boxers now. They'll be replaying the fight in their minds. Remember, both of these men with perfect professional records to this point, but it won't be the fact that an L will go on their ledger that they're thinking about. They want to progress through to the final and contest that lion's share of the £50,000 prize fund that is on the line here at Ultimate Boxer 3 tonight. The scorecards taking a while to be tabulated. Remember, the 3 scoring judges sat on differing sides of the ring. How will each of the observers have seen and scored this contest? Isazo with a strong start and strong finish. Conway with a good cameo in the middle of the contest. A capacity crowd enjoying themselves here. And what has been a terrific night of action. Referee Lee Everett called the fighters to his side. Let's head up to center ring now and get the official announcement to determine who's going through to contest the Ultimate Boxer final.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an epic semi-final. Make some noise for both of these warriors. To decide who goes through to the final, ladies and gentlemen, we consult the judges' scorecards. Mark Bates scored it 28-29. Kieran McCann scored it 29-28. And Lee Cook scored it 28-29. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a split decision. The first of our finalists is Derrick Isazo!
So Derrick Isazo, the punching preacher, books his place in the final to the delight of his fans in attendance here at the Indigo Theatre in London. They're dancing in the aisles of this brilliant little intimate venue. And it's Isazo who goes through, moving on to 8-0. The bookie's favourite, Ciaran Conway, eliminated, suffering his first defeat in the professional ranks in this, his 12th professional contest here at the semi-final stage. A split decision, and how tight was it as the celebrations continue in the aisles here. 29-28 for all three judges, two of them scoring in favour of Isazo, one of them scoring in favour of Conway, and it's Isazo who goes through, and Arnie's fans loving it.
Yeah, close fight. I felt Isazo edged it as well. A good decision, but both were quality fighters. Hopefully Conway can regroup and keep going with his career after this, because he's got a lot of potential and a solid pedigree as well. But a very good win by Isazo. I look forward to see him in the finals.
Loving that. Look at the celebrations from the Isazo camp. Shannon, you need to get down there and look at that. Bit of a roll on the floor. I saw you ready for that.
I ain't ready for that.
Fight of the night, and so far?
Early on, styles clashed, but maybe not fight of the night. However, we all slept on Derrick Isazo. Very, very impressive. Listen, it all depends how you've seen that first round.
Yeah, have you seen him improve from that first fight?
Without a doubt. And I didn't expect him to finish as strong as what he did. And we've mentioned it, and in commentary mentioned it. He does a lot of things that are very cute. He tucks up well. Knows little inside tricks, and Ciaran Conway, no doubt, was the more talented fighter in there, but he sort of old-manned him a little bit. I'm sorry, Shannon. Out-hustled him a little bit. But yeah, great fight again, and a very worthy finalist.
Yeah, fascinating clash of styles, wasn't it? Layla's with the winner, Derrick Isazo.
Yes, I am here with our semi-finalist #1 winner, Derrick Isazo. Now, an incredible first round, a frantic first round. You definitely dictated the space throughout. How important was that against an opponent like Conway?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a close fight. It's a bit crazy because I still don't feel like I'm boxing to the best of my ability yet. I feel like I'm still rushing. I feel like there's still a lot more to come, but obviously it's a fast format. It's all about dictating the pace, which I think I did there. You know, Ciaran Conway is a good boxer. His coach was apparently telling him, shouting in the corner, that he's just swinging, but I guess swinging got me to the final, baby! Yeah!
Good to know that we haven't seen the best of you yet. We did see some frustration in the third round. How important was desire then when fatigue set in?
Do you know what? It's just composure, man. You got to keep yourself composed, you know what I mean? Kudos to my coach, Barrington Brown. He said to me, look, the fight's close, you need the last round. So I don't know, I feel like a switch just flipped. And like I said, I'm not puffing, I'm not blowing, I'm fit. I feel great, and I don't think I've come out of third gear. I'm still rushing a bit, but hey, I'm in the final, baby.
You are indeed through to the final. We don't know who your opponent is yet, but feel free to tell him what kind of pressure we can expect.
At the end of the day, it's all competition, do you know what I mean? I got to say thanks to God. You know, me and my opponents were all safe. I've made it to the final, but it's going to be a good fight, whoever it is. The punching preacher's going to be punching. I ain't preaching today, but I'm punching. But all glory to God, yeah?
Well, there you have it. Our first finalist has been named Derrick Isazo, the punching preacher.
I like that, Layla. No trash talk from the punching preacher. And he is into the final, where he will face the winner of Shawn Phillips and Grant Dennis. That is the route to the final. Dennis against Phillips is next. Isazo is waiting in the final. This place is bouncing. It's gone up a few gears in the last 10 minutes. The first finalist is Derrick Isazo after overcoming Ciaran Conway in a brilliant semi-final. Who will he meet in the final? The second Ultimate Boxer semi-final is coming up right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to move on to our second semi-final. First of all, let's introduce the boxers to the ring. In the blue corner, Grant Dennis.
Well, the go-getter, Grant Dennis, booked his place here at this semi-final stage with a third-round stoppage, taking the oath of his opponent, Hitman Joe Hearn. Beautiful counter right hand, saw Hearn sink down to a knee, and the referee waved it off, concluding Mark Bates that Joe Hearn was in no position to continue. He comes through to the semi-final full of confidence. Grant Dennis now 13-1 after his impressive quarter-final victory.
And next, let's introduce his opponent into the red corner, Shawn Phillips.
Well, Shawn Phillips got his man out of there in the first round in his quarter-final. A terrific shot, a right hand catching Josh Groombridge on the ropes. And while Groombridge was tucking up, trying to weather the storm, he helped himself with a left hook. Helped himself to a left hook to the liver. Followed his man across the ring behind sharp, accurate punches. And the contest was stopped at the 2-minute 22 mark of the opening round. So the two knockout winners from the quarterfinals meeting here at the semi-final stage.
Yeah, and then, you know, they've gotten good rest with the two stoppages, so we'll see. This is as the tournament keeps advancing, the matchups get more mouth-watering, so this is another good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, your judges scoring ringside are Mr. Lee Every, Mr. Mark Bates and Mr. Kieran McCann. Your referee is Mr. Lee Cook, and your timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Bob Edgware. Scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in our second semi-final. Introducing first, in the blue corner, wearing the white shorts. In the quarterfinal, he defeated Joe Hearn to progress. Representing Nottingham, Grant Go-Getter Dennis! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the red shorts. In the quarterfinal, he defeated Josh Groombridge. Representing Gravesend, Kent, Shawn Phillips! Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Lee Cook.
Okay, you both know the rules. Defend yourself at all times. Keep your punches clean and on target. When I tell you to break, do so straight away and take a step back. Shake hands. Good luck to you both.
Let's get down to business.
So we're underway then. The second semi-final. This contest, or the victory in this contest, will go through to face Derrick Isazo in the Ultimate Boxer final later this evening. This one between Shawn Phillips, the taller boxer wearing the red shorts, who's been caught by a counter right hand by the man in the white shorts, and that is Grant Phillips. Both of these men progressing through to this semi-final with stoppage victories in their quarterfinals. Contrasting styles of boxers. Shawn Phillips, one of the taller middleweights in this tournament, looking to establish that long straight jab, which he did effectively on that occasion.
And again, Grant Phillips with a good head, Grant Dennis with a good head movement. A nice body shot again by Phillips there a few seconds ago. He got his man out of there, having hurt him to the body in the first fight, and he's got some sneaky body attack. But Grant Dennis with a very good head movement, and he's slick so far.
Looking for a right hand to the body on this occasion, Phillips, and then stepped into the pocket and landed with a right hand at mid-range. So Dennis again slipping effectively to his right, causing that shot to slide over his shoulder. Long left hook wasn't too far away from Phillips, but again, good reflex has been demonstrated by Grant Dennis.
Dennis has a little bit of jittery head movement, but it works for him. He disrupts your rhythm, and he works his way inside with it.
Beautiful short right hand again. The same shot, a counter right hand, catching Shawn Phillips as he was advancing, and it had the exact same effect as it did on Joe Hearn, causing the man to sink to his knee. More than a minute to go in this opening round. Grant Dennis going looking for his man. Shawn Phillips under intense pressure. So Shawn Phillips trying to regain his senses and full control of his legs, intelligently holding on. Grant Dennis want to work his way out of that clinch. Ponderous right hand, winged over the top. Oh, nice short right hand landed on the inside from Dennis once again. And over goes Dennis after he took a jolting left jab. I think he was shoved as well.
Got pushed down, yeah.
And now this one is into a firefight right in the middle of the boxing ring.
Phillips has to be careful keeping his punches so wide on the inside. He's a taller man, so when he punches wide inside, it gets dangerous for him. Good hook there by him, though.
So closing seconds of an incident-filled opening round. Shawn Phillips on the floor, but recovered well to make it out of the round. A terrific opening round for the go-getter Grant Dennis. Let's listen in.
Right, right, listen to the rules. Through the middle. Great work. Listen, don't worry about that. Fuck all, don't worry about that, man. Right, Shawn, you've got to listen to the calls. What do we work in the dressing room?
See the look at that knockdown. You're going to see Phillips kind of step forward in here. He throws a wide right hand and a nice catch and shoot there. In England, I think they call them triggers. As when I was in James DeGale's camp, that's what Jim McDonald liked to call them. They say catch and shoot. He catches the overhand right of Phillips on the left hand, and then throws the right hand on the inside. He tries it again there later in the round. Doesn't get the knockdown, but the same kind of combination. And there Phillips ended up pushing Dennis to the ground after landing a short jab. Obviously correctly ruled a no knockdown. But you see Dennis using that trigger combination where he catches the overhand right on the left hand and then throws his own short right hand on the inside. Let's see if he keeps trying it here in the second round as it got him a knockdown in round 1.
There's Martin Bowers in the red corner giving the instructions to Shawn Phillips, telling him to be calm. And he's momentarily switching southpaw. He's a full-time professional. Here's Grant Dennis. He said thanks to the sponsorship that he's been able to garner from in and around where he lives in Chatham down in Kent, so that he's able to live and work as a full-time boxer. But he said even before he had that full-time status, his work as a personal trainer, that's his profession, enabled him to always be in optimal shape for his battles in the ring. Shawn Dennis runs his own scaffolding business in his yard by 5:40, puts in a few hours setting up contracts, overseeing things before getting to the gym to train from 10 till 12 at the Peacock Gym with Martin Bowers alongside Daniel Dubois, man who's in the crowd here tonight. Anthony Yard also works out of the Peacock with Tunde Ajayi. Right hand over the top, not too far away from Phillips. Oh, and there's that right hand once again from Dennis. And Shawn Phillips, his knees dip from that ever so slightly. Well, Dennis looking to bustle away once again, and again, the punches of Phillips are rather looping. They're a bit more languid, and they're not finding the range. So beyond the midpoint of this second round, Dennis looking for that counter right hand once again, but he couldn't find a range on that occasion. It was a beautiful left uppercut, landed on the inside from Phillips, but look at the response that initiates from Dennis, who bursts away with a bunch of punches to the body.
I'll tell you, Dennis is doing to Phillips basically what Osazi did to Conway. He's kind of professionaling him, so to speak, if that's a word I can use, because he's on the inside being rough and taking away the spaces of a guy like Phillips, who likes his space and likes to be able to pick his spots like a textbook boxer. But Dennis is not allowing that, and he's giving him misery on the inside by being so physical and obviously putting combinations together as well.
So Phillips trying to employ that peekaboo guard and walk his man down. Right, Dennis driving him back towards the ropes. Uppercut through the middle wasn't too far away. Then he followed it with a right hook around the corner. And just look how busy Grant Dennis is being. When he burst away to the body with those shoe shine shots, there may not be much on them, but he's giving the impression of being busy.
Absolutely, and he's smothering the work of Phillips, Shawn Phillips. Shawn Phillips is not able to get any space to properly work in there, so he's being outworked.
Still stayed up. You're still up, right? He hasn't beat you in any rounds. Yeah, you're good. You start getting.
And there's a shot from last round, a counter right hand. That's the shot that knocked out John Hearn in the first fight. It doesn't land as cleanly on Phillips because Phillips is not a front foot heavy guy like Hearn was, but still the attempt was there on the counter. And there's a little jab on the inside, and then the work. You see Dennis uses the jab to get inside, and then once he gets underneath, he just moves those hands. Nothing doesn't have to be fancy. It's just a 3-round fight, so you want to just outwork your opponent, and Dennis does that just right.
Clean shots. Clean shots. Nice and clear. Yeah, got this. Come on, let's go.
Well, Grant Dennis, oh, good right hand to start this third round from Shawn Phillips. But Grant Dennis trying to gain every psychological edge he can here. Despite being the oldest man in the tournament, he said to me in the build-up to this tournament that he feels physically in his prime. He said that he feels more youthful than the 21-year-olds who are boxing here. But he was up off his stool with about 20 seconds to go. In the 1-minute intermission, Shawn Phillips taking every second of respite to receive further instruction from Martin Bowers as well as the precious rest. But hasn't he come out to begin this third round aggressively?
He's trying to move. But Phillips seems to me like the kind of guy that will do better over a longer fight. You know, he's trying to pick his spots, look for the short shots to counter with. And in little spots, he lands a solid one shot at a time salvo, but it's just not enough in a short 3-round fight when you have a guy like Phillips. Nice hook. A guy like Phillips working.
Beautiful left hook from Phillips on this occasion. Dennis from Dennis landing on Phillips. But look at the left hook. And another one. Double over. Goes Grant Dennis. Locked onto two thunderous left hooks. And this contest, the seesaw nature continues. Grant Dennis putting his man on the floor in the opening round before being sent to the canvas by two pulverizing left hooks. And now Shawn Phillips going looking for the finish.
And Phillips needs to get leverage on his shots. He cannot smother himself, and he cannot allow Dennis to smother him. He needs to get leverage on these shots. When he's got proper leverage, he can hurt you. But he's not got proper leverage at this distance.
Rather crowded on the inside, perhaps smothering his own work. Grant Dennis was still more than a minute to survive in this third and final round. Dropped rather heavily by two cracking left hooks from Shawn Phillips. And the bombs continuing to find a way through the defenses of the man from Chatham in Kent. Dennis now biting down on his gum shield, stepping back into the pocket, trying to cover up, trying to score with some offense of his own as well. Tying up Shawn Phillips, both men feeling the pace, the momentum in favour of Phillips. But look at Dennis come roaring back, driving his man across the ring. And again, Dennis doing a good job of giving the impression of being busy, letting his hands go on the inside just above the belt line. Closing seconds of this third and final round. Well, this only a 3-round contest, but this one attritional now. Both men have been on the floor. Left hook lands once again, followed back, cracking right cross from Phillips. What a terrific semi-final we have just witnessed. A contest where both men took a trip to the canvas. It was Grant Dennis who put Phillips on the floor in the opening round. Shawn Phillips got himself back up, got himself back into the contest before landing two gunshot left hooks to send Grant Dennis to the canvas in round 3. What a contest we've just witnessed to see who will go through to the final.
Here's a double left hook there by Dennis. Although we got one there. I think there was one right before that. We didn't go back far enough in the replay. There's one. There's two right there. Yeah. There's a double left hook thrown by Phillips and a massively thrown. But you see what the difference is here. He's getting leverage on the shots. He's got just enough distance to where he can crank those shots. And that was Phillips' problem for most of this fight, and probably why he's going to come up short, is because he wasn't able to get enough leverage on his punches. And this is why I said probably in a longer fight, Phillips may be more successful in this kind of format. He's a boxer. He's a guy who gets your timing, and he's a guy who probably will do better as the longer rounds are there. But the difference in this fight might be round 2, where Grant Dennis outworked Phillips, because round 1 and round 3 will cancel each other out with the knockdowns, with each knockdown apiece. But round 2, Grant Dennis outworking Phillips, for me, is the difference in this fight.
Well, the 3 scoring judges who will determine who goes through to the final here are Lee Every, Mark Bates and Ciaran McCann. Shawn Phillips pumping that right fist in anticipation of being declared the victor, but it was his left hook which put Grant Dennis on the floor.
And one thing to keep in mind, will the winner have anything left for the final? The winner of this fight have anything left for the final? You know, the winner of this fight has less rest than the other semifinals, and the winner of this fight probably needs more rest.
So Lee Cook, has got both fighters in position, and we can now get the announcement to see who will go through to contest the Ultimate Boxer final.
Well, 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 ladies and gentlemen, what an epic clash. Make some noise, London! However, we must consult the judges' scorecards to see who progresses through to the final. Our judge, Lee Every, scored it 27-28. Our judge, Mark Bates, also scored it 27-28. And Ciaran McCann scored it 27-28. It is a unanimous decision. And going through to the final, Grant Dennis!
So the go-getter, Grant Dennis, the former Southern Area champion, goes through to the final of Ultimate Boxer. prevailing in a shootout where both men found themselves on the floor. He was on the canvas in the third round. He put Shawn Phillips on the floor in the first, but his superior work rate in the second round proving to be the difference. A 1-point winner for all three judges, and it's Grant Dennis who goes through to the final. Shawn Phillips suffers his first professional loss and is eliminated at the Final Four stage.
Yeah, the Indigo O2, absolutely loving that. Cannon, that's what Ultimate Boxer's all about.
Fire, fire, that's what I'm talking about, champ. They went at it, both 2 knockdowns off the deck. Let's go, champ.
Yeah. A classic fight.
What
you said
a fight.
I thought the fight before was fight of the night. That's surpassed that, hasn't it?
Without doubt, that
Big
was
time.
fight of the night. Unbelievable. And the only thing now you worry for Grant Dennis, that was a heavy knockdown. He suffered in that third round, going into the final.
Truly.
That's why it's so important. The guys mentioned it, to get that draw. Being in the first half of the draw always helps. But back to the fight. Yeah, what a fight, had it all.
Paulie, not to cut you off, champ, but Paulie said it best. You know, this is a tough fight.
Yeah.
2 knockdowns. It's a shorter distance to the next fight, so that's going to really tell a lot.
This is the first knockdown, guys. Talk us through this one.
It's a little cute right hand.
Got him. Cute right hand, like you said, champ.
It was, and you forget there, he was badly hurt there with Shawn. So he come back to recover very, very well.
And this is...
If you look, his legs had gone.
Yeah.
Very unsteady on his legs as he come up.
And it was early in the round as well.
It was.
This is
one.
This is the third round, what we're seeing here now.
Wow.
Look at that.
Nice hook. Sweet. Look at that.
What do you say about that, Shannon?
Look at that hook, boy. It was sweet.
And you know, Paulie said it in commentary there. Derrick Isazo is going to be sitting in his dressing room thinking, keep going, keep going. They've knocked 10 bells out of each other.
We've said it a few times tonight, but that helps Derrick Isazo use, and he's very heavy-handed, Isazo, and he's going to be looking at that. Both fights was down heavy. Obviously, Grant Dennis goes into the final, and yeah, he's going to be rubbing his hands
Shannon,
together.
just quickly, it's taken a lot out of Grant Dennis, that, hasn't it?
You know, man, I tell you, Derrick Isazo, I think he's looking good tonight.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, he's looking good. He's looking strong. He's awkward, like Paulie said, but at the same time, his rhythm is so awkward. When he comes in, his bounce, his hop is sweet. I love it.
Okay, let's quickly hear from Grant Dennis. He's with Layla. Layla.
Well, I can start by telling you a little bit about Desire, because Grant Dennis is here saying to me, do I have to talk? I need to get back. I need to get back, which makes a lot of sense. I want to ask you one quick question, though. In the third round, we saw fatigue from both fighters. Where did you get that energy from?
Bring it back. I thought about my mum, who's up there watching me, and that gave me energy. I need to get back, focus on this final.
Go rest. There you have it. Your second finalist fighting against Derrick Isazo is the one and only Grant Dennis.
Cheers, Layla. Yeah, absolutely needs to get back and, well, work out how he's going to take on Derrick Isazo in this final, because there we go. The route to the final. Grant Dennis, the man we just heard from, walking off behind me here to the dressing room to prepare for the Ultimate Boxer 3 final against Derrick Isazo, live at the Indigo O2 here on BT Sport. And my man, Steve Bunce, is backstage with the man who's put all these fights together. Buncey.
Thanks very much indeed. Yes, I'm here with head of boxing for Ultimate Boxer, Carl Greaves. You've done it again, Carl. You've found 8 boxers. You've delivered quarters and semis, drama, blood, guts, heartbreak. How'd you do it, Carl?
What a night, I know. Great value for money, all evenly matched. You've had knockdowns, you've had stoppages, just excitement. It's just been one hell of a night again, and I'm really pleased how it's gone.
When you're out at shows all the time, Carl, I know you have about 20 shows yourself. Are you sort of in your head, are you making matches for Ultimate Boxer as you go through the year?
Yeah, well, I think the concept for this is working really well. You know what I mean? It's all on a level platform. They're all up-and-coming fighters. Most of them are unbeaten. And I think it's going really well. And obviously, we've had 3 now, and it's been fantastic entertainment. I'm really pleased.
Do you have a point when they first start in the quarters that perhaps you've got it wrong? Is there any fears that you've got at all? That there'll be 4 walkovers, 4 smash-overs, 2 rubbish semi-finals and a walkover in the final?
No, I don't. I just think, obviously, 3 3-minute round fight, it's anybody's. You just go for it, and this is what's happening. I mean, there's no standout fighters. They're all evenly matched and putting a great show on. And obviously, like we say, we've had knockdowns, we've had stoppages, we've had points, wins. It's just, we've had everything again.
That's what we do. Thanks very much, Carl. We have everything. That's just about it. Blood, guts, glory, knockdowns, stoppages, split decisions, confrontations. Shannon the Cannon Briggs in the house, $1 million quote. What more do you want from a night of boxing?
Absolutely, Bunsey. Yeah, Carl's done a great job. Cracking fights here tonight in London. And the final lineup is complete. Derrick Isazo will be taking on Grant Dennis. If it's as explosive as the last two semi-finals we've just seen, we are in for a real treat. Do not miss it. That's coming up soon. Live here on BT Sport. This is Ultimate Boxer. Welcome back, you sexy lot. Absolutely loving this tonight. A short rest for the finalists of Ultimate Boxer, but no let-up in the action here at the Indigo at the O2. In the ring now, the winner of Ultimate Boxer 2, Shakan Pitters, the unbeaten light heavyweight, and following that, it's our grand finale.
Ladies and gentlemen, our scoring judge and referee is Mr. Lee Cook, and your timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Nick White. Scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the cruiserweight division. Introducing first, in the blue corner, wearing the multicolored shorts, with a record spanning 69 contests, weighing in at 14 stones, 3 pounds and 10 ounces, representing Lithuania, Dmitry Kalinowski! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the black and blue shorts, weighing in at 13 stones, 5 pounds and 10 ounces, with an undefeated record of 11 fights and 11 wins, including 4 knockouts, representing Birmingham, the winner of Season 2, Ciaran Peters! Over to our referee, Mr. Lee Cook.
Let's go. Okay, you both know the rules. Defend yourself at all times. Keep your punches clean and on target. When I tell you to break, do so straight away and take a step back. Shake hands. Good luck to you both.
Let's get down to business.
We're in the cruiserweight division in this contest scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds. It's actually a rematch between boxers who have met one another before. The taller figure wearing the black trunks with the sparkly lettering in the waistband is the winner of Ultimate Boxer 2. That was done at light heavyweight, and that is Ciaran Peters, the towering 6'6" fighter out of Birmingham. His opponent is Dmitry Kalinowski from Lithuania. No stranger to fighting on these shores. Right hand wasn't too far away from Ciaran Peters. The first time these two men met was in the hometown of Peters, Villa Park in Birmingham, back in September of 2017, and Peters won on that occasion over a 4-round distance.
Peters is the winner of Season 2 of the second version of Ultimate Boxer. He was very impressive during that tournament. It's good to see him back and see how his maturing process is coming along. He's a very tall, lanky fighter who knows how to use his height. And I remember he had a very good right uppercut, but his opponent tonight is not bending in. Maybe he's seen it in the past when they fought in September of 2017. But nonetheless, using the jab so far and commanding the distance. We'll see how Peters advances in this fight.
Remember, the Ultimate Boxer Season 2 was down at 175. That's a cracking right hook around the corner landed by Peters. Started that combination, or in that combination was a left hand to the body as well. Tall fighter himself is Kalinowski, 6'5" tall.
Kalinowski also fighting very negatively so far. He's almost like a sparring partner mentality. He's not initiating anything, and difficult to look good against these kind of guys, but we'll see. Little so-so jab from Kalinowski there, but he's not really doing much to initiate. So it's going to be up to Peters to open him up and see if he can get him to open up.
That's exactly the mission that lies ahead of Peters, because Kalinowski has settled into a journeyman role, competing in his 69th professional contest tonight. Just 13 victories on that 68-fight ledger, and he's got an 8-fight losing streak coming in.
Yeah, and guys like this, with this much experience, you see a lot of losses on their record, and you think, oh, they're not good. But usually guys like this with this kind of experience know how to not get stopped. They know how to move their way around the ring. They won't work enough to win the fight, as they're used to losing. And Kalinowski's certainly not working enough in the first round. But he also knows how to get himself to go the distance. And the reason guys like this fight like this is because when you get knocked out, you get suspended and you can't go to work. But if they manage to lose distance fights, they won't get their boxing licenses suspended, so they can keep fighting continuously and keep making money. There are guys like this in boxing.
So the first round in the book, well, we saw the Derrick Isazo fans dancing in the aisles here at the Indigo Theatre as we build up to the Ultimate Boxer 3 final. Layla's found some of them here on the floor of the Indigo Theatre. Let's see who she's with now.
Obviously, you're fans of Derrick Isazo. He's through to the final. How does that make you feel?
Come on! Derrick's winning it! Derrick's winning it!
Of course, you've also been watching his opponent throughout the night, performing beautifully also is Grant Dennis. How do you think the final's going to go down?
I think that Derrick Isazo has worked very hard up to this stage. He's got it. He's got it. He's going to win it. He's going to win it. Punch him, preacher! Punch him, preacher! Punch him, preacher! We don't know any.
I'll leave them to enjoy the rest of their night.
So into the second round of this cruiserweight contest that is scheduled for 6 between these two tall boxers. Shakan Pitters, the winner of Ultimate Boxer 2, down at 175 pounds light heavyweight, competing in his second bout since his triumph here, where he took the lion's share of the £50,000 prize fund back in November of last year. He was very impressive in prevailing in his 3 contests to take that lion's share of the prize bag and the golden gown as well. Kalinowski firing a right hand over the top. Wasn't too wide of the mark. But Pitters in complete control here, and as you suggested, Paulie, it's going to be down to him to show the variety and the creativity to try and break this man down and get him out of there.
One thing you'd like to see from Pitters for starting for an adjustment is to step over to his right, because Kalinowski always goes to his left, always escapes to the left consistently. So Pitters wants to eliminate that option, and he did it there. He stepped over to the right and forced Kalinowski over to his own right, as Kalinowski seems more comfortable going to his own left and finding the escape route that way. You see right here, he's doing that, just that. So we'll see if it's up to Pitters, if he can figure out to eliminate the movement in that direction and make Kalinowski a bit more uncomfortable in this survival mode.
One of his 51 defeats, Kalinowski, 11 of them have been inside the distance. Jordan Thompson, another towering cruiserweight fighter, the wiry 6'7" cruiserweight out of Manchester. He got him out of there in the second round when they faced off in June of last year. David Jameson stopped him in 2 on his debut as well, but he's been in the boxing ring with so many of the lively cruiserweights and what is a good domestic scene. Nick Parper, Luke Watkins, Danny Toombs, Sparkly Barkley, Simon Vallely. Kalinowski shared the ring with all of those guys, and remember, the counter left hand wasn't too far away from Kalinowski. Pitters landing with a good right hand to the body, but remember, Ultimate Boxer 4 has already been announced, and that's in the cruiserweight division, as Pitters lands a ramrod left jab. Double left hook, saw the left hook to the body get through after the one upstairs was blocked. Nice accuracy from Pitters, finding a home for that right hand behind the left glove of Kalinowski. But again, Kalinowski content to demonstrate very little ambition indeed. He's on a survival mission here to make it through to the final bell so he can continue to ply his trade beneath the ring lights without fear of having his license suspended. So another round surely in the book for Shakan Pitters on the card of referee Lee Cook. Now remember, we're warming up for the final of Ultimate Boxer 3 here. It's the punching preacher Derrick Isazo who will be facing off against the go-getter Grant Dennis. And there is the finalist who has just been involved in an up-and-down thriller against Shawn Phillips, already going through the motions in preparation for this final.
You would think after a fight like that he wouldn't need any warming up, but sure enough, he's a go-getter and he's warming up.
Nice, if you've got to talk off, punch through it. Just keep squeezing.
So Paul Coonahan in the corner of Shakan Pitters giving the instructions. And again, all of the onus lies on the broad shoulders of Pitters to try and change the course of this contest, because Kalinowski is not winning the fight, he's not really in the fight, but he's comfortable. With the pressure that he's being placed under, it's going to be down to Pitters to make him uncomfortable. And I'm sure, given the fact that some of his cruiserweight peers, such as Jordan Thompson, possesses an almost identical physique, the fact that he was able to get him out of there in 2, I'm sure that Pitters in this rematch against his familiar rival would look to get the job done more quickly than in their first encounter, which went the full 4-round distance. But again, when you're facing a man such as this, who's intent only on survival, That's easier said than done.
Absolutely, yeah. And in order to open up a guy like this, you need to use throwaway punches, basically get him to react to lesser punches, and so that you can kind of trick him into reacting to those, and then maybe his guard will be not set to take the harder, heavier punches and be able to block them. So, you know, Pitters is trying, but you can probably step up a little bit in the aggression because he's not getting much resistance. But of course, the one confusing thing about guys like this is when they do start to work, they confuse you. You know, like they can surprise you. You get used to them not throwing any punches, and all of a sudden 1 or 2 punches will fly your way, and you're back to square one. Also, maybe going to the body. These are the kind of fights that, you know, get you rounds, get you experience, you know. But you know, they're fights, they're developmental fights because you'll get rounds in there. But of course, you want to make sure you're learning and going through the paces, and so that you can advance your career, not just with a win, but also with things you pick up in a fight like this.
Pitters able to do pretty much as he pleases. Through the course of the 2 2/3 rounds completed so far. Comes from the boxing family, does Shakan Pitters. His father, Colin Pitters, was a pro fighting out of Birmingham, 6'3" middleweight. Late 80s and early 90s, shared a ring with all the top Brits of his era: Richie Woodall, Steve Foster, Neville Brown, Adrian Dodson. So fighting very much in the blood of Shakan Pitters. He's progressing nicely through the professional ranks. Again, been posed with a puzzle he's faced before. Good left hand to the body. Can he solve it more quickly than he did in their first encounter? That's a good right hand, but Kalinowski was leaning back. By riding it, was able to take some of the pop off it. See if we can take a listen into the corners.
Okay, you're breathing out there. Breathe for me. Breathe. You know when you're out there, breathe. Okay. Well, you seem to be just in the dance hall, point of finger. What's a bit of snap about it? You're all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know you're boxing well. I don't to make anything stupid. Yeah. Listen to me. Listen to me. You've got to break it down with squeezing jabs. So when you throw the jab, just squeeze your feet a bit. Squeeze the jab. Don't let him get centre. Just keep popping. It's so comfortable. Yeah. When you hit him upstairs hard, whack him in down to the body. Okay. Breathe for me. Breathe for me. Побольше, ты видишь, побольше. Посильнее. Он ничего не делает, на руках бьет, и ждет тебя, понимаешь? Что ты ошибку делал. Еще, кричи, через нос. Еще раз, не хочешь пойти? 4-й раунд, хорошо?
So round 4 of a cruiserweight bout that is scheduled for 6. Shakan Pitters out of Birmingham, the man in the black trunks, in complete control here in his second encounter against Dmitry Kalinowski from Lithuania. Beautiful left jab from Pitters. You heard his coach, Paul Cunahan, telling him just to squeeze the canvas with his feet as he lets his jab go, and Pitters is doing that to begin this 4th round. There's more spite on his punches, and the jab that he was landing was really jolting the head back of Kalinowski.
Yes, I think he's recognizing there's no resistance coming forward. Maybe the trainers let him know, and I like how he's trying to shoot some counter right hands over the top of the jab as well. And you know, we'll see. You know, maybe it'll force Kalinowski to realize that if he does want to survive, he's gonna have to fight a little bit more to keep Pitters off him. Because right now, up until now, his negative style has also kept Pitters from waking up. So maybe if Pitters does wake up, then Kalinowski will be forced to, if he wants to indeed survive, to throw some more punches.
So Pitters, far more urgency demonstrable here in this 4th round so far. Again, Kalinowski content to remain on the back foot and continue to move away to his left, to try and avoid the offense coming his way from Pitters. Chopping right hand at mid-range landed by the Birmingham boxer. Lovely left jab from Pitters. Kalinowski, his reflexes and his movement from the waist is allowing him to ride some of the shots that are being fired in his direction, but he's showing absolutely no ambition whatsoever, which, given his record, we shouldn't be too surprised at. And the point of the exercise abundantly clear. Long right hand, just a grazing blow from Pitchers once again. Beautiful left hand from Pitchers once more. Cracking right cross. Kalinowski able to take it well though. When you're in such complete control, of course, as Pitchers going down to the body with the left hand just wide of the mark with the right that followed. Kalinowski showing more aggression with that three-shot salvo than he has done all contest, targeting the long, lean body of the Birmingham boxer. So all Pitchers once again during the course of that fourth round. Well, here is the dressing room of the punching preacher, the man who will be contesting the final against Grant Dennis. We dropped in on Grant Dennis a couple of rounds ago. This man, far fresher, far more time to rest and recover. Will be taking on board a little bit of nutrition, and he's certainly less marked up than the man he'll be facing in the final, because comparatively it's been a smoother passage for the punching preacher. He was in a hard contest against Derrick Isazo, against Kiran Conway.
And then sometimes a nice hard jab to the body.
Nothing compared to the shootout that Grant Dennis found himself in his semi-final.
So be ready with a short backhand counter. So when you do trap him, be ready for him to come and meet him in the backhand. Go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy it. 2 rounds. 2 rounds, Shaq. Go and enjoy it.
Well, Shakan Pitchers has dominated just about every facet of this contest so far, showing a greater punch variety, superior ring generalship. But can he do anything to open up this man and end this contest inside the distance? 4 stoppage wins in the 11 victories on the perfect ledger of Shakan Pitchers. Dmitry Kalinowski competing in his 3rd professional contest of 2019. If you can hear the final bell, one wouldn't be surprised to see him in the boxing ring again before the month is out. Heavy left jab from Pitchers once again. Kalinowski has demonstrated that he's content to take these single attacks that are coming in his direction all night long. Can Pitchers change the tempo? Can he do something different? Can he double and treble the attacks? Do something to try and make Kalinowski more uncomfortable than he currently is?
He's got to throw more punches. At this point, there's barely any resistance, so it's not going to cost you much to throw punches. It's like hitting the bag. You know, you'll get a resistance shot once in a while from Kalinowski, but really, you can't let that deter you. You know you're going to get the occasional return of punches here and there just to show you he's alive. But if that makes you lower your output, then, you know, the problem is within your mentality. You know, this kind of guy, there should be no letting up on the output. You should be able to put stress on him and pressure him, because his output is so low on you that you should be able to you know, force him to either fight or to retire on the stool or whatnot, you know, because you can tell Kalinowski has plenty of experience as far as knowing how to survive. You know, again, he's moving to that one direction to the left all the time. And, you know, like I said, Pitchers could start by cutting off the ring in that way. But there's also, you know, some other things that he can do, as we talked about.
Pitchers, a former footballer who found his way into the fight game. We mentioned his father's fighting credentials, but all of his brothers boxed as well. Oh, that's a good right hand landed at short range from Pitchers, and now he is showing a bit more urgency and devil about his work, but can he sustain it in the closing 20-odd seconds that remain in this round? No reason why he shouldn't. He's in terrific condition always, Shakan Pitchers. Again, Kalinowski content to tuck up in his shell once more.
Say, breathe for me and hold it in. Breathe for me, look at me, breathe for me and hold it in. Again.
Footage from the last round, a little chopping right hand by Pitters on the inside on the counter as Kalinowski threw a rare offensive salvo there, and Pitters able to counter him. There it is again from another view. But then, of course, Kalinowski goes back to being very defensive, and there you saw the escape to the left. Pitters should have been stepping to the right so that to avoid that. And again, cause a bit more stress, even mentally, if not physically.
Your combination, go for your gears, give your pants something to spit. Remember the last round, Shaq, so make it a real good one. Okay, but don't do nothing stupid. Look at me and get caught.
So into the final round then. What has been one-way traffic to this point in the contest. Shakan Pitters sent out with the instructions from Paul Coonahan.
Of course, we'll mention that, there is an amazing final coming up after this fight. This fight may have been dull, but that fight with Grant Dennis and Osazi is really a fight with Derrick Isazo and Grant Dennis is the one we've been waiting for. And after a stellar tournament tonight, once again from Ultimate Boxer, it's a mouth-watering final. And one thing we can definitely know now is at least Grant Dennis has got sufficient rest, at least more than the initial rest we thought he would get. So it should give us a stirring final for Ultimate Boxer 3. Right after this fight, this is the last round either way of this matchup.
That just a few moments away now, so the boxers backstage. Derrick Isazo, Grant Dennis must be turning their attentions to what lies ahead. But up here in the boxing ring, Shakan Pitters landing a good right hand, which came behind a left uppercut. But really, to his credit, Kalinowski, who came here on a survival mission, has remained composed in the line of fire all night long.
Yeah, and you can tell he's experienced with that. You can tell by the way he's comfortable in there. He's done this once or twice, and he fought in this manner, and this is kind of what he shows up to do. It's up to the prospect, in this case, Shakan Pitters, to kind of make him undone.
Single shot success for Pitters. Kalinowski showing in this round what he is capable of when he elects to let his hands go. Showed his variety as he's doing there. Well, Pitters electing to drop his hands, just trying to present a seemingly open target for Kalinowski to tee off on. Kalinowski did land a right hand there, but I don't think he's too interested in letting his hands go and increasing the risk of being tagged on an open chin, Kalinowski. So the bait being offered by Pitters, who took a nudging little right hand from Kalinowski at mid-range. Pitters offering the bait, but Kalinowski content not to bite. Work to the body with the left hand before scoring with a right hand upstairs from Pitters. Same combination, same success once again for the Birmingham boxer.
And that's the final bell.
So a routine victory for Shakan Pitters. 2 rounds longer than the first contest against Dmitry Kalinowski. This one going the full 6-round distance. Shakan Pitters surely winning all 6 of the rounds that have just been completed. Lee Cook, sole arbiter of this contest, and we'll get the official announcement in just a few moments' time.
Okay, can we get both fighters to the center of the ring, please? Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, we consult the judges' scorecards. Our referee and judge, Mr. Lee Cook, scored the bout 60-54. To the red corner, Shakan Pitters.
So Series 2 champ Shakan Pitters with another win there, but we are counting down to the final of Ultimate Boxer. After 2 wins each tonight, the middleweights Derrick Isazo and Grant Dennis will face off to become the Ultimate Boxer and take a lion's share of the 50 grand. Take that to Playing Next Door. Don't go anywhere, boys and girls. I know where I'd rather be. A very warm welcome back to the Indigo at the O2, where the 2 fighters are left standing, and we are ready for the final of Ultimate Boxer. Derrick Isazo taking on Grant Dennis. A sold-out arena here. It's been brilliant. What a night. Anthony Crolla, Shannon Briggs with me ringside. I mean, we couldn't have asked for more, could we, in terms of entertainment, guys?
Not at all, not at all.
Well, firstly, Shannon, who have you got in this final? I'm interested.
Ooh, I'm going with Grant. You know, I met him about 3 weeks ago walking down the street in High Street in Chatham, just out of the blue, randomly.
That's an image.
I'm telling you, I met the guy, and now here I am. I had no idea I was going to be here tonight. He's in the finals, so I'm riding with him, but I think he's in a tough fight tonight.
Yeah.
He's in a tough fight.
And what are you saying?
I'm going the other way. I'm going to Isazo. I just feel that semi-final fight for Grant took a lot out of him. That was a heavy knockdown in the 3rd round, what he said. I know he's in great shape, great conditioning. That last fight going the distance has given him a little bit of time, what's needed. But I think Isazo has gone under the radar all night, and we've slept on him, and I think he wins this. He out-hustles Grant Dennis in this final now.
Let's get on with it then. The final of Ultimate Boxer. Let's have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our quarterfinals are complete. Our semi-finals are complete. Before we get down to business in the grand finale, I need to know who's ready for action! Let's introduce the first of our 2 fighters. First of all, in the blue corner, Grant Dennis.
So Grant Dennis making his way toward the boxing ring for the third time here at the Indigo Theatre tonight. And just a short while ago, he was involved in an absolute barn burner of a semi-final where both he and his opponent were on the floor, but he prevailed by a split decision victory, a unanimous decision victory, but just 1 point in it on the cards of all three judges. Grant Dennis, not sure he's rested, but he's certainly recovered and raring to go to contest this final.
You can see some of the battle wounds. He's got a bit of a bruise on his forehead, of course, from the stirring semi-final bout.
And next, let's introduce his opponent into the red corner, Derrick Isazo.
Derrick Isazo prevailed in his semi-final with a split decision victory over the accomplished amateur Kiran Conway. It was 29-28 on the scorecards of all of the judges, but two of them scored in favor of the punching preacher. Very crafty, cagey, cute customer who possesses a potent right hand as well. He appears to have expended far less energy, both physically and emotionally, to book his place here in this final. And that familiar proof fight routine in evidence once again from the punching preacher, Derrick Isazo.
Ladies and gentlemen, our judges scoring at ringside are Mr. Lee Cook, Mr. Lee Every, and Mr. Mark Bates. Your referee is Mr. Kieran McCann, and your timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Nick White. Scheduled for three 3-minute rounds in our grand final. Introducing first, in the blue corner, wearing the white shorts, he's defeated Joe Hearn and Shawn Phillips to get here. Representing Chatham, Kent, Grant Go-Getter Dennis! Across the ring, his opponent stands in the red corner, wearing the grey shorts. He defeated Tangling Jones and Ciaran Conway to get here. Representing Nottingham, Derrick the Punching Preacher Isazo! Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Kieran McCann.
Right, gents, listen to me. You both know the rules. Obey my commands at all times. When I tell you to break cleanly, step back, throw no punches. Keep your heads out of the way, and most importantly, lads, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, let's go.
This is Ultimate Boxer. Let's get down to business!
So the Ultimate Boxer middleweight final about to get underway here at the Indigo Theatre at the O2 Arena. So here we go then. These the last two men left standing in this exciting 8-man single elimination tournament. Derrick Isazo, the punching preacher, the boxer wearing the grey shorts. His opponent is the go-getter, Grant Dennis, the oldest boxer in the competition. Oh, good left hook landed by Dennis.
And Dennis keeps, again, that low target, and he shoots with the punches up, keeps himself low so he doesn't get hit with anything crazy. And he caught Isazo standing too high up on the inside there.
Well, despite the energy that he expended, including picking himself up off the canvas after absorbing a thunderous double left hook from Shawn Phillips, Grant Dennis demonstrating that he's still full of fight and energy in this opening round. But Isazo, he will be aware of the hard-fought semi-final that Grant Dennis had just been engaged in, and so he's come out trying to set a quick tempo as well. But again, look at the cute punch picking of Grant Dennis. There really isn't much on those shots, but look at the volume of them that are being scored.
Yes, and again, in a short fight, he has the playbook just right. You try to outwork your opponent, don't get hit with anything crazy, and that low stance keeps him from taking any crazy punches. As you see, he stays low and keeps himself a small target. So he can outwork his opponent, not take any big shots, and the judges will give him rounds this way. Let's see if he can continue it.
Midpoint of the opening round. Good right hand to the body, landed, but then a counter left hook upstairs. Isazo looking to get to work with that long left jab, and look at how rough he is on the inside, following through with a forearm on a couple of those hooks. There's a nudging right hook once again. Dennis giving as good as he's getting.
It'll be interesting to see how Grant Dennis goes into the second and third round, because remember, he did have that very fatiguing semifinal fight.
Beautiful double left jab from Grant Dennis. Isazo trying to work away to the body, and if there is any fatigue in the legs and lungs of Grant Dennis, while Isazo looking to test it by investing in body shots.
And that right there, leaning on top of him, putting extra weight on top of Grant Dennis's legs, can add fatigue.
Good left hook landed by Dennis, but then a single shot in response from Isazo. Beautiful count, beautiful lead left hook, and then the lean back employed by Isazo. Walking Dennis down now and letting his hands go furiously at mid-range. Dennis back to distance and letting go. Flicking jabs.
Oh, good body shot.
Now Dennis.
Was that low?
Been called low by referee Ciaran McCann.
Referee had a better look than us, as Dennis had his back to our side.
Now remember, the referee calling time. 5 minutes permitted if required for Dennis to recover. Not taking the full 5, but that a welcome intermission after taking that low blow.
A bit of pressure from the referee to continue as well.
Nice movement on the back foot from Dennis in the closing stages of that round, and then just scoring with a flicking left jab after making Isazo miss.
Yeah, close round. I thought Dennis had won the early part of it, but Isazo started coming on in the second part of the first round. It'll be interesting to see how they evolve in the second round. As you see here, some action from round 1. So, I know we can't really get a look. Let's see how that low blow comes across again. Get a good look there of how low, but you did see Grant Dennis push down the head of Isazo. So a lot of times when you get your head pushed down, it makes your own punches straight low because you can't come up with them.
Yeah. First round of everything. Not fought yet. It's going now, yeah? Just get up, put more pressure on. Yeah? Remember, more pressure. Yeah. So I told you, you can see it, yeah? I want you to see it, yeah? Body, keep the catching.
So quick start to this second round. Grant Dennis snaking out that jab once again to begin the second stanza, but Isazo with a right hand over the top, followed by a left jab, and it's a frenetic pace to begin round number 2. Both of these men in pursuit of the Ultimate Boxer crown, the golden gown, and a lion's share of the £50,000 prize fund. Good right hand from Isazo once again, who is looking to make this a physical affair. Marauding attack on the front foot being launched by the punching preacher.
Yeah, he's trying to make it a heavy pace for Grant Dennis. He's also trying to get to the body and try to make it even worse for Dennis. As again, we remind you, Dennis had that very, very fatiguing semifinal bout.
Oh, beautiful right hand from Grant Dennis. It was a single shot. Isazo had his hands up, but he was still able to land it in accurate fashion behind the attempted defenses that Isazo erected. Beautiful right hand from Isazo with a heavy one as well, and Grant Dennis keen to hold on. And again, Isazo looking to make this one a physical encounter to really impose his physicality on the go-getter. But Dennis remaining composed and letting fast flurries go once more. Isazo though with heavy singles, some of them straying around the back of the go-getter's head. Nice evasive maneuver demonstrated in the pocket from Grant Dennis.
And you can see Grant Dennis trying to initiate some clinches. He's definitely fatigued, but he stirs up the energy to put together these little flurries and combinations. But you see the attempts of Isazo with his one shot, body shot sometimes, really trying to put weight behind them.
Both of these men found their way into boxing as Isazo launching a triple left jab. Dennis launching a triple left jab. And again, it's rough on the inside. Referee Ciaran McCann having his hands full in this final. Good left hand to the body landed by Isazo. The right hand over the top was short from Dennis. Both these men finding their way into the fight game via football. Isazo played to a decent level as a teenager, but by his own admission said that he had issues with anger management. But once he found boxing, he said it turned him into a gentleman, and he enjoyed the self-reliance that comes from this most individual of sports. And funnily enough, Grant Dennis's route was similar. Said that he played football to a semi-pro standard. Remember, he didn't turn pro until he was 29, 30 years of age. But he said that nothing compares to the self-reliance and the individuality that boxers have to demonstrate to get themselves ready.
There's a jab of Dennis. He's got to get back to that because Osazi's getting very comfortable coming forward.
Counter right hand was a nice shot once again. Remember, that has been really successful for Dennis in both the quarters and the semis. And a baleful stare shot in the direction of Grant Dennis from Derrick Isazo.
Yeah? It's all on this round now, yeah?
There's some action from the previous round. See that overhand right we were talking about earlier? Landed around the gloves of Derrick Isazo. There here, Dennis attempts it again, misses it, and then you get a right hand from Isazo again, and then he's able to follow up. And you see what he does there, he kind of puts his weight on top of Grant so that it fatigues the legs of Grant a bit more.
You're not tired. There's that last breath.
So into the third and final round then of Ultimate Boxer's final bout here in the middleweight division. And Isazo has come out swinging freely to begin this third and final stanza. And Grant Dennis is losing his balance. All his inexperience being brought to the fore now. He was again keen to initiate a clinch just to get some respite from the furious fusillade that Isazo launched to begin this third round. Nice work to the body from Dennis, but Isazo not giving him any time to rest after he had that single shot success.
Yeah, and there's Grant Dennis again. He does well with these little combinations. But he's got to avoid taking any good single shots from Isazo. Oh, good shot, good uppercut there by Isazo inside.
And Grant Dennis's legs have gone. It was a delayed reaction, and by Isazo getting out of the way, Grant Dennis's legs didn't have the strength to keep him upright. There are still 2 minutes to go in this third and final round. And he's a weary-legged fighter now. Here's Grant Dennis, keen to hold on once more. Isazo looking for the finish. Really putting everything behind his shots. That shot straight around the back of Dennis's head. Good right uppercut landed by the punching preacher. Grant Dennis has got nothing left. He's fighting on fumes now. And you get the sense that Isazo senses that.
Yes, and again, the difficult semi-final bout playing a pivotal role here. Isazo obviously is also playing a pivotal role. But Dennis has not been fatigued like this all night. And now you can see he's just draped around Isazo, trying to get the cobwebs out of his head and still trying to survive the round.
So Grant Dennis with still more than a minute of this round to negotiate. The former English title challenger, remember that's the only bout he's lost on his professional ledger to this point. That's a good right hand to the body, but look at what he takes in return. Terrific bravery being shown by Grant Dennis. Isazo waves the man in. Grant Dennis keen to hold on once more. Just under a minute to go in this third and final round, and the momentum is in favor of the punching preacher. But Grant Dennis biting down on his gum shield, trying to fight fire with fire. Look at Isazo following through with the elbow. Ciaran McCann with firm admonishment about that infringement. Good right hand around the corner from Dennis, trying to get some dynamism and energy into those legs.
And it might be that knockdown. That knockdown might be the difference in the fight.
Closing seconds of what has been a pulsating middleweight final so far. Grant Dennis with a nudging right hand over the top. Locking up his man on the inside once again. Isazo looking to get to work with that free right hand. And both boxers punching right up until the final bell. A pulsating contest in the final of the Ultimate Boxer middleweight tournament. But Derrick Isazo could well have done enough and that knockdown could well be a decisive factor in determining the outcome of this contest. He certainly thinks so. He's got the strength and the energy to climb the turnbuckle and celebrate with his fans. A terrific contest. And Grant Dennis deserves immense credit for the part that he played, not only in this final, but throughout this tournament so far. And was the final a fight too far after that hellacious semi-final he found himself involved in? Derrick Isazo just taking some time to reflect. The man who is a youth pastor at the church where works with the youth up in Nottingham, just giving thanks after leaving it all in the boxing ring in pursuit of victory. I suspect it's Isazo who's going to be declared the victor. You get the sense that his fans do as well. But we are now going to the scoring judges, Lee Cook, Lee Every and Mark Bates, to determine who will be crowned the Ultimate Boxer Champion.
And we see some highlights there. The knockdown is a big right uppercut by Isazo, and he'd been trying it over the course of the fight. You know, Dennis does well in staying low and keeping himself a small target, but if there's one thing he is susceptible to in staying low is that uppercut right there. And there, Isazo finally found a home for it and was able to hurt Grant Dennis and put him down, and that gave him a 2-point round in round 3, which may be the difference here in this fight. But it remains to be said, it needs to be said, another amazing tournament given by Ultimate Boxer. This is the 3rd edition of it, and yet some scintillating action once again throughout the entire tournament, and really a barn burner of a fight. And I think in the end, it might have been too many barn-burning wars for Grant Dennis in this tournament, because the semifinal really gave him a hellacious pace, and Derrick Isazo also gave him a very hellacious pace tonight. And it seems like Isazo will win this tournament. We'll see.
Well, 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 ladies and gentlemen, what more could you possibly ask for in a final fight of the evening? Make some noise for both of our finalists, please! After 3 rounds of non-stop action, we consult the judges' scorecards. Our first judge, Mr. Lee Cook, scored it 28-28. Our second judge, Mr. Lee Every, scored it 29-27. And our third judge, Mr. Mark Bates, also scored it 29-27. It is a majority win to our new Ultimate Boxer middleweight champion, Derrick Isazo! Congratulations to the Punching Preacher.
Derrick Isazo is overcome with emotion. The Punching Preacher had just been crowned as the Ultimate Boxer 3 middleweight champion. Jubilant scenes in the stands here at the Indigo Theatre at the O2 Arena. And the Punching Preacher's prayers have been answered. He wins 3 bouts out of 3 and is the Ultimate Boxer 3 champion in the middleweight tournament. He extends his perfect record to 9-0. He's seemingly overcome with emotion. There's absolute celebration amongst his fans. Derrick Isazo is the champion after a stirring trio of performances to remain undefeated, and he will now take the lion's share of the £50,000 prize fund.
Scenes here at the Indigo at the O2. It's going off, boys. Shannon Briggs, Anthony Crolla ringside. What a night. This has been a huge, huge success, no matter what anyone says. Amazing. Absolutely incredible evening. And what a final. I mean, you do feel sorry a little bit, don't you, for Grant Dennis, because he had such a tough semi-final.
Yeah.
Shannon's going off with a golden robe already.
He is. I think that caught with him. But every credit has got to go to Derrick Isazo. And he fought the perfect fight there. And the uppercut, that set off the knockdown, but scored the knockdown, was the beauty of a shot.
Shannon's done a Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville on us, walked straight off, but there he is, into the ring. He's going to present that golden robe to Derrick Isazo. His fans have been absolutely exceptional.
It's been brilliant all night.
And this is going to mean so much to him, because this is a big platform for him now, isn't it?
And he's a youth pastor, what a role model for the youth. He's going to go home and they're going to be very proud of him.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you've had a good look at them tonight. Realistically, where can they rank? How much of a sort of imprint can Isazo make on this middleweight division?
I think getting a domestic title shot, whether it be an English title, an eliminator for the British or something like that, but certainly like an English title, sort of a lower domestic title, and then move on. And listen, he's got better as the night has gone on, so hopefully now he kicks on from this.
Right, let's get that golden robe on Mr. Isazo, our Ultimate Boxer champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an awesome evening of pro boxing. I welcome into the ring Mr. Shannon Briggs to present the golden gown. Congratulations to Derrick Isazo. Make some noise for your middleweight champion.
Firstly, I must say thank you for an incredible fight, highly entertaining for me and all the fans here. Walk me through that third round.
Man, I've worked too hard for this. I've trained too hard for this. That's why I'm a bit emotional now. Like, everybody said that I wasn't meant to be here. I knew from the beginning. I knew who I was going to box. I knew I was going to win. First of all, you know, they call me the punching preacher. It's not a gimmick. It's not a cliche. If not for God, I would not be standing here, yeah? It's no joke. It's no joke. Forget the odds. They said I wasn't the favourite. I don't care about odds. I'm standing there, victorious. I thought I'm a boxer. I've got to thank my family, my friends, everyone who came to support. I want to thank, my boxer, BT Sport, for the opportunity, Box Nation. I want to thank my coach, because these guys, Brian to Brown, Mark Howe, Jimmy Gill, my manager, yo, they put me through it. They put me through it, and they've made me the boxer I am today. I don't think I boxed as great as I wanted to, but we got the victory. I want to thank all my sponsors who've helped out. Vape Cargo, Contento, Wing Racking, Trademark, Stealth, Top Rank, Morgan Electrical, TG Physiotherapy, Bus Look, Big Vapes. Without these guys, I wouldn't be here. But most importantly, thank my family, my friends, my church, God, our ministries, and all my supporters. Glory to God, glory to God. This one's not for me, it's for God.
You are indeed. You beat the favourite, as you mentioned, and you're wearing that golden robe. What's the emotion?
Do you know what? I didn't want it any other way. When I looked at the draw, I thought, do you know what? I've got the supposed favourites from my side of the draw. I knew who I was going to box. I knew I was going to get, if I got Taylor in, I was going to box Kiran Conway. I knew I was going to box Grant Dennis. They were the top three. So this is the best way to do it. If I wanted to win the Ultimate Boxer, I wanted to beat all the top boxers that they claim to be the top boxers. And I'm standing here. So the feeling of jubilation is an understatement. I'm so happy to be here. All glory to God.
You're standing here victorious, a fantastic night, but 3 fights hard fought.
Yeah.
How would you rank and rate your performance tonight?
You know what? I don't know if you saw me bouncing in the third fight. I felt amazing. Like, DCT Boxing Academy, which stands for Dreams Come True. All of these lot are here. They know how hard we train. My coach said to me at the beginning of the final, this is your first fight. Do you know what I mean? I didn't break a sweat or come out of third, fourth gear, and I left it all for the ring for the final because I knew I was going to be in the final. So if you believe it, achieve it. Tunde Ajayi, somewhere here, he always says it. But I believe it, I pray it, and then I achieve it.
If I can ask you one last question, if we face this way, you had one of the loudest group of fans here tonight. What would you like to say to your fans?
To all He's not gonna make me cry, man. Like I said, I don't know what to say to you guys, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you lot, man. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion tonight, Derrick Isazo.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate all the support. Box at the O2 has been amazing, man. Like I said, I only live about 25, I grew up about 25, 30 minutes from here. So yeah, man, I love all my South London people. I appreciate you guys. Love to everyone for coming. Get home safe. God bless, man. Believe it, pray it, achieve it.
Yeah, great words from the punching preacher, and if he's the punching preacher, that's his gospel choir. And his fans have been really loud. They've been brilliant tonight inside here, inside the Indigo. I don't know how he remembered all those names, but as he was being rubbed down by the cannon there, which I enjoyed, he is, he spoke like a true champion there. It's been a great night for him.
He did all night. He's handled himself with class. You saw how he stayed calm in between fights, and a very worthy winner.
Yeah, Shannon, this is, as you went away with the robe there, this is going to be life-changing for him. It's a platform, which is what Ultimate Boxer's all about, giving this guy a real chance now.
You know, like the champ said, man, you know what really amazed me about him? He was so calm. After fight, in the fight, before the fight, and it proved tonight he's just a classy, calm, collective man.
Yeah, we're going to speak to you about what's next for you two, because I'm interested about that a little bit later. But let's go backstage to Bunty, who's with the man who's put this all together. Bunty, what do you make of that?
Well, it was exactly what we wanted. I'm with Ben Shalom. Ben, you came up with this concept. You put it together in this form about a year ago. You've had some good nights, but that was a bit special tonight.
Yeah, I'm completely worn out. That was unbelievable. I mean, we put 8 fighters together and we had our favourites, but that was completely unexpected. We had Derrick at 7-1, and he's just come from nowhere. And all the lads tonight have been unbelievable. And so, yeah, unbelievable.
And for an underdog, he fought in the final like a guy that was the massive favourite. He seems so calm. In all fairness, he could fight another 2 or 3 times tonight. He's in great form.
Yeah, he was completely inspired. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't getting tired. He went through 3 rounds then, and it looked like he could do another 3, as he said. So he's definitely one to look out for. I think that takes him 9-0. And yeah, he's been getting a lot of press because of what he does on the side. As he's a preacher. I don't think that will stop, but that was unbelievable.
Well, he said tonight, I'm punching, I'm not preaching. What he didn't say tonight is how much winning this and the money that comes with it means to him. You saw him at the end, before you rushed down here. He's broken, he's in tears. You're changing people's lives with the kind of purses that you're throwing at these kids who are making peanuts before they enter.
Yeah, that's why we started. I mean, there's so many fighters out there that just are very, very talented, but boxing just doesn't offer them that opportunity. And so when we can put 8 lads, we could have filled it 3 times tonight, but when we can put 8 unbeaten lads like that, it's fantastic to see people come out with such a big purse and almost life-changing in their position. So hopefully you can go on to do big things as well.
Ben, thanks very much. Well, we've had them down here. We've had people sitting over there crying, calling their mums, calling their girlfriends, calling other people they love. We've seen fighters come down broken, being comforted by brothers and sisters. We've seen some go home early, upset maybe at a decision, upset at their performance. And that's what it's like. I've enjoyed it back here, but I've got to tell you, I'm not staying all night. Enjoy it.
You're buying the drinks. Bunty, loved every single second of it. Thanks so much for your work. Let's go to Layla, who's in the ring with Paulie Malignaggi and the greatest bow tie in the history of bow ties.
It is indeed the greatest bow tie in the history of bow ties. I've witnessed it myself. Brilliant bow tie, by the way. That's what we're all commenting on. But firstly, what a night.
What a night indeed. Ultimate Boxer, once again, does not disappoint. We had the first 2 editions were amazing. I think tonight's edition was also amazing. I think fans will go home very happy with the performances, very happy with the action that they witnessed. This short format with these short fights and hungry young prospects, and even some not so young, but not prospects nonetheless, trying to fight their way to maybe changing the momentum of their career all in one night on the fast track, so to speak. It really stirs the emotions of the fighters, stirs the emotions of the fans, and it really translates well into these small rings where all you can do is fight.
The atmosphere here is second to none as well with the energy. But apart from the obvious, apart from our winner tonight, was there anyone else who stood out for you?
Yeah, for me, Kiran Conway was a real revelation as well. He just wound up getting Derrick Isazo, who eventually won the tournament. He caught him early, caught him in his second fight. And I thought Kiran Conway, who you could see has a nice amateur pedigree, you could see it in his style. One thing you don't see too much in the amateurs, no matter how much experience you have, are physical type of fighters like Derrick Isazo. His style is really all its own. It's very unorthodox, very particular, and he knows how to time you, but he also knows how to make it physically very uncomfortable for you. And no matter how much experience you have, a lot of times in the amateurs, physical guys take some getting used to once you turn pro. So I think this was his first experience with that kind of thing. He'll have learned to be better from it, and I think he'll become a better fighter for it as well, especially over the course of longer fights. He's got a good pedigree, and I hope he stays with it.
Sticking with Isazo, after a platform like this, what does the future hold for a fighter like him?
Well, he came into the tournament with an undefeated record, so he's taking the scalps of some good records tonight, So obviously, as we said, you try to put yourself on the fast track once you win the tournament like this, and I think that's what he wants to do, maybe some local area title, or maybe if he's won that already, you go for a British title or whatever, you go through the paces, and I think with an undefeated record and having won 3 fights against good records tonight, he'll have really put himself on a faster pace and really given himself a great platform to be seen.
Paulie, thank you so much. That's it from us tonight. For now, back to Will.
Thanks, Layla. I think Paulie would give Tommy Shelby a run for his money, wouldn't he, wearing that?
Great time.
It is a great bow tie. You enjoyed this tonight, Shannon?
I had an unbelievable time. this is the best thing I've seen in so long.
Yeah, so I mean, we've touched on it so much, and we're not just building this up, but it's worth building up because it's such an exciting format, and none of those fights let us down.
No, it's delivered tonight. Like I say, almost every fight was brilliant and worthy final, worthy champion, as I've said a few times. But it's hopefully now it gives these guys the platform now to move on to bigger things, and not just the winner. Paulie mentioned Kiran Conway there, he impressed. There was Grant Dennis who impressed. There was so many. There was young Shawn Phillips who impressed. There was so many. And great opportunity for him, great platform.
I want to ask you what you're up to, champ. Are we going to see you on the undercard? Are we going to see this with Fury on the 15th of June or what? Come on.
Well, not on the 15th of June, but I will be fighting in October. No later than October, hopefully September.
68 fights, 60 wins, 47 years old, body like a 21-year-old. Look at him. Look at this
and
guy.
I'm with the champ.
What about you, Ann? I mean, look, you had. I mean, talk about balls. Getting in the ring with Lomachenko. Wow.
Listen, I'm just gonna take a little bit of time out. I'm always ticking over.
He's coming back. He's gonna be champion. Yeah. He's coming back.
It's not the end. Is it? It's not the end.
No, I'm not. I'm not decided yet, but I think there's a good chance I'll be in the ring later this year. Very good chance.
Well, we need you on the 28th of June because this is what we got coming up for you with Ultimate Boxer. We're going to show Shannon all around Manchester. We'll take you to some haunts. Chapchester, I like that. Ultimate Boxer 4 is the Cruiserweights. Don't miss that. Friday, the 28th of June in Manchester. More details to follow. You can go on the website and get tickets and find out all about Ultimate Boxer 4, which is going to be an absolute crack. Are you with us for that? Come on, Shannon.
I hope
You're
so.
Not going anywhere.
I'll talk to Benjamin. I hope so.
In your hometown.
I'll be there for sure. I can't wait for it.
I got to be in Manchester.
Get Shannon over.
Manchester's going to love that, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got to. Listen, you can't help but not love that. You love boxing excitement, and that kind of tournament, it brings new fans into the sport. And like I say, it was action-packed. 3 rounds. We'll have 8 new fighters who are going to want it every bit as much as those tonight.
Great to have you with us, Ant. Great to have you with us, Canon.
Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you very much. Let's go, champ. What a night it has been. Derrick Isazo is the Ultimate Boxer champion. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you in Manchester.